Mike, we hope the TV comes out. It doesn't play back very well on our monitor, but we're relatively sure we got it. And we, by the way, still have that beautiful satellite inside. It's traveling just below it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Roger, we copy Bill and Joe, and got a lot of happy people down here. You guys did good work.
Okay, Mike, we delivered. We got SBS off on time, and if you're interested, I'll read you the pad.
Roger, go ahead.
Deliver the crew of Shuttle Mission 5 did. Only 8 hours into the first operational flight of the Space Shuttle program. 5th flight of the orbiter Columbia. The first 4 missions were test flights to prove the space transportation system could provide access to low Earth orbit on a routine basis. Those missions laid the groundwork for the operational era. Shuttle Flight 5 was the beginning of that era. The primary purpose of the mission, to carry 2 communication satellites into orbit, deploy them from the payload bay, then return to Earth.
Columbia, Houston, 30 seconds till LOS, and everything is still go down here for deploy.
Roger, Brian, we copy that. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to having a good one.
Roger, and good luck.
Okay, Houston, this is Columbia. We are 2 for 2. Are we on the ground?
Absolutely.
A flawless landing. Only minutes after sunrise at Edwards Air Force Base, California, ended Columbia's 5th mission. Looking slightly weathered, the orbiter had traveled over 10.5 million miles in 5 flights, spent 24 days on orbit, and circled the Earth almost 400 times. It would now return to Kennedy Space Center, Florida, for refurbishment, to be launched again on Shuttle Flight 9. The newest orbiter in NASA's fleet, Challenger, would fly on Shuttle Flight 6. Many weight-saving improvements had been made. The orbiter itself was almost 2,500 pounds lighter because of structural changes. The external tank weighed 10,000 pounds less than the one used on Shuttle Flight 1. The solid rocket boosters were almost 4,000 pounds lighter. The 3 main engines were upgraded to 104% of rated thrust. A blanket-like thermal material replaced 600 thermal tiles in non-critical areas. And all 30,000 tiles were densified to improve their durability. This stack could carry over 17,000 pounds more into orbit than Columbia.
Minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. We'll go for main engine ignition. 7, 6. We have main engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of the orbiter Challenger and the 6th flight of the Space Shuttle. The shuttle has cleared the tower.
Challenger's underway. We got a roll program.
Houston copies, Challenger.
And some late news for you, Story. We got a go for deploy. We have a go for deploy.
On Shuttle Flight 6, Challenger's cargo, the tracking and data relay satellite, TDRS, and its solid propellant inertial upper stage rocket, the IUS, weighed almost 19 tons. TDRS was the largest, most advanced communication satellite launched to date.
That is correct.
A major accomplishment in space communications. TDRS is launched from the payload bay by ejection springs, released when explosive bolts are fired. After shuttle moves a safe distance away, the first stage of the IUS rocket fires to boost the satellite from 150 miles to 22,300 miles in altitude. Then the first stage separates. Shortly thereafter, the second stage of the IUS rocket fires to circularize the satellite's orbit. Solar panels and antennas are deployed to provide power and tracking and data relay capability. Having attained a circularized altitude of 22,300 miles and traveling at the same speed as the Earth's rotation, the satellite will remain fixed in orbit over the same location continuously. Later, the first TDRS will be joined by two more identical satellites. The three will form a space communications network, providing almost continuous coverage to Earth-orbiting spacecraft, not the 15% ground stations provide. The network will be able to track 26 Earth-orbiting spacecraft simultaneously. And because TDRS satellites only relay data, they do not process it, 20 times more information will be handled by this network than could be by ground stations. All data will be relayed directly to the primary NASA ground terminal, White Sands, New Mexico, and from there via domestic satellite to other NASA centers.
Hello there, we're with you over...
Launch of TDRS was on time and nominal. First stage firing of the inertial upper stage also went well.
And Sunnyvale and White Sands send you a special attaboy.
However, halfway through the second stage firing, ground controllers lost communication with the satellite. It was an hour before even intermittent signals were picked up. They indicated TDRS had not yet separated from the IUS, and that both were tumbling at a very high rate of speed. Receiving only intermittent signals from TDRS, using short-life batteries which would soon be depleted, and getting no response to signals sent from the ground, made the outlook for TDRS bleak. Several more hours passed, and then something remarkable happened. Experts still aren't sure why. But either an automatic timing mechanism was engaged, or onboard systems finally acknowledged repeated commands from the ground, separating TDRS from the IUS.
Well, I do have some words.
Now on its own, the satellite stopped tumbling. Ground controllers commanded deployment of the solar array and antennas. However, they quickly learned TDRS was way off course and drifting farther every day. Their only hope of getting it back on course was to use the tiny hydrazine thrusters originally designed for minor attitude and velocity adjustments, not for boosting the 2.5-ton TDRS over 8,500 miles farther into space. But at least the satellite was not lost. NASA officials immediately put their plan into effect. Meanwhile, Shuttle Flight 6 continued as planned.
Okay, we're back with you, Milo, for about 12 more minutes. Got a good TV picture again.
Roger, Houston. Got the hatch closed, and we're waiting for a go for deep rest on time.
That sounds great, Bo.
Copy, we have a go for deep rest on time.
That's affirmative. You have a go. And Challenger, Houston's with you over Guam for about 7.5 minutes.
Roger, hatch open. EV1 is halfway out. They're configuring the airlock, getting ready for Dawn to come out.
Okay, we're watching.
Houston, we have a suggested setting for the DAC camera now in the sunlight. Okay, Dawn.
This was America's first spacewalk in 9 years.
Up the starboard launcher on.
The astronauts were attached by safety tethers to slide wires running just inside the payload bay. They wore a new design in spacesuits, also called extravehicular mobility units. A portable life support system was worn on the back, eliminating the need for a lifeline connected to the orbiter. These suits are not custom built for each astronaut. Tops and bottoms of different sizes can be mixed. They are also more flexible than previous spacesuits.
Little hatch window. Reliable.
The crew removed tools from a storage locker in the front part of the payload bay.
Hooked on the door here, Connie. You want me just to leave it there? That's the inner hatch. I think it's a fine place to leave it. All right, I shall.
Then moved aft again.
The gift card is loose, Story.
Using a cable run through a winch mounted on the bulkhead, then tied to the cradle that had held the IUS, the astronauts demonstrated they could have lowered the cradle manually had commands from on board failed.
There is Velcro here over the outer hatch. That's what I'm going to do, Story. Velcro in the inner hatch over there. The Velcro, I'm afraid I'll kick it loose.
Winch operations were tested on the front bulkhead using an Exergenie as a load to see how many pounds the winch and line could handle.
The back pocket. Okay, I'll try that.
Lastly, the tools were restowed, and the astronauts re-entered the spacecraft.
I believe you've done it, Story.
Indian Ocean for 2.5.
Perhaps the most visually spectacular mission since America's first landing on the moon, Shuttle Flight 7 gave us our first glimpse of the orbiter from a distance.
Another space first.
John, we have had one more of those intermittent dropouts, but the spas came right back up and no other problems.
Thank you.
The magnificent views were provided by a European payload called SPAS.
We switched over to a view looking at SPAS.
We copy?
Roger that.
SPAS is an acronym for Shuttle Pallet Satellite, a unique, reusable space platform built by the West German aerospace company Messerschmitt Balkov Blom, with generous financial assistance from the West German Federal Ministry of Research and Technology.
Best wishes to those folks from MBB who built this spacecraft. It's a real...
In addition to having American television and film cameras mounted on SPAS, 10 experiments belonging to the West German government, the European Space Agency, and NASA were on the platform. MBB wanted to validate the satellite's design and prove experiments could be operated while SPAS was free flying. NASA wanted to show the remote manipulator system could handle the 2.5-ton payload.
Adequate reading.
And TJ, we just turned on the mass spec to warm it up. I assume that you wanted us to do that.
Affirmative, Sally. Thank you.
Okay, TJ, we're with you, and John performed a beautiful release.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The orbiter's ability to station keep with SPAS was also demonstrated. At this point, they are 1,000 feet apart. Here, SPAS and Challenger are 200 feet apart. Thrusters on board the orbiter were fired to record the effect on SPAS.
I could not get the SPAS right now.
SPAS was rebirthed for return to Earth.
They sure are nice. I've been told that some crews in the past have announced that we deliver. Well, from Flight 7, we pick up and deliver.
We certainly hope so.
The remark by Shuttle Flight 7's commander meant not only had the SPA's operation been successful, but that the crew also deployed 2 communication satellites. A Canadian satellite to be used for one of the world's first direct-to-home pay TV services, and an Indonesian satellite. It would increase high-speed data transmission and telecommunications service to that country's remote island locations.
Roger, the weather at KSC is getting worse instead of getting better, so it looks like we're a no-go for KSC.
Shuttle Flight 7 was to be the first landing of an orbiter at Kennedy Space Center, Florida. But bad weather conditions did not allow it. Challenger would touch down instead at Edwards Air Force Base, California, the alternate landing site.
Roger.
During the period of communications blackout, usually lasting about 15 minutes, temperatures on the vehicle's surface reach their peak. The temperature of the red-hot glow seen through Challenger's front windows was about 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit. One astronaut described the view as like being inside a furnace.
Processing Western test range data.
Houston, Challenger, loud and clear. Nice and smooth all the way down.
Real good.
Approximately 2 months after TDRS was first launched from Shuttle's cargo bay on Flight 6, the final firing needed to place the satellite in its correct orbit was executed.
Copy. Go ahead for the burns.
Personnel began immediately to check out communication systems on board and initiate a series of important ground tests with the satellite essential to its operation on upcoming shuttle flights.
Processing TDRS.
First use of TDRS with Shuttle was on Mission 8.
Challenger, Houston with you on TDRS.
Houston, Challenger, loud and clear. How do you read the CDR?
Roger, loud and clear also.
Challenger, this is Houston with you through Hawaii for 7
Also
minutes.
conducted on Shuttle Flight 8 was checkout of the remote manipulator system and payload flight test article.
You're loud and clear too, Dale, and looks like you're right on schedule.
The 8,500-pound structure was the heaviest object lifted by the arm to date, more than double the weight of any previous payload. Data gathered during the checkout was used to plan the Solar Max repair mission. On that flight, a 20,000-pound payload would be deployed, and an orbiting satellite would be retrieved.
At 0008.
We're ready to deploy it.
That's good news.
Flight 8 marked the 6th successful launch of a satellite by Shuttle.
40 up here.
It was an Indian communications satellite which would bring telecommunications, television, and badly needed weather information to remote areas of that country.
That Intersat was deployed on time.
Because Challenger was launched at night on Shuttle Flight 8, parts of the southern hemisphere never seen or photographed from space were visible during daylight hours. The first night landing for the Space Shuttle program occurred on Mission 8 with safe touchdown of Challenger at Edwards Air Force Base, California. After making its first voyage into space on Shuttle Flight 4, the Continuous Flow Electrophoresis System, CEFIS, flew again on Shuttle Flights 6, 7, and 8. The device is a prototype of a production unit to purify material for the treatment of disease. It was built by McDonnell Douglas Corporation and flown on Shuttle as part of a joint agreement between NASA, McDonnell Douglas Corporation, and Ortho Pharmaceuticals Corporation, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson.
Challenger, Houston.
Combined results from Flight 6 and 7 demonstrated that CEFIS could separate over 700 times more material, and in purities 4 times higher than could be achieved in Earth's gravity.
Go ahead.
Shuttle Flight 8 was the first use of CEFIS to separate living cells. Some of the samples were separated to continue research at Pennsylvania State University and Johnson Space Center, Texas. The McDonnell Douglas samples were used to further diabetes research at Washington University Medical School, Missouri. Other scientific activity conducted on Shuttle Flights 5 through 8 also focused, as the CEFIS had, on research and materials processing, greatly enhanced when performed in the weightlessness of space. The monodisperse latex reactor flown on Shuttle Flights 3 and 4 flew again on missions 6 and 7 in a continuing attempt to improve the production of polystyrene latex microspheres for cancer research and treatment and glaucoma research. 5 student experiments flew on the 4 shuttle flights as part of an annual science competition co-sponsored by NASA and the National Science Teachers Association. Studies ranged from fluid convection to sponge and crystal growth to biofeedback. A total of 23 getaway special canisters were flown on shuttle flights 5, 6, 7, and 8. Some contained stamped envelopes from the U.S. Post Office commemorating spaceflight. Others grew snow, exposed seeds to zero gravity, and studied the effects of weightlessness on a colony of ants. NASA's Getaway Special program is a unique opportunity to fly small, self-contained payloads on board shuttle on a space-available basis at a very low cost. Perhaps the studies with the most human interest were those done on space adaptation syndrome, also known as space motion sickness, a malady which affects approximately half of all astronauts. The most extensive studies of SAS were done on Flight 8, focusing primarily on the neurological system. Oral sensitivity was tested, eye movements, and repeated physical motion. Measurements were taken of limb volume and external tissue pressure. If any of these tests looked torturous, it's no wonder the crew dubbed the doctor's mid-deck working area a chamber of horrors, and mockingly gave him a taste of his own medicine. Astronaut crews got along exceedingly well with each other on missions 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yet they were the largest, most diverse crews in the history of spaceflight. Flight 5 carried the first 4-person crew. Flight 6, calling themselves the Over-the-Hill Gang, tallied up all their years of experience to get this grand total. Flight 7 carried the first 5-person crew, including the first American woman to fly in space, Sally Ride. Flight 8 included the first black American to fly in space, Guyanne Bluford. And the oldest person to fly in space to date, Dr. William Thornton. With ejection seats gone from the flight deck, and water storage tanks and instrumentation gone from the middeck, there was much more room to accommodate the larger crews. There was also opportunity for privacy, exercise, and as usual on any important trip, plenty of food. The success of Flights 5, 6, 7, and 8 represented many accomplishments for the Space Shuttle program. More importantly, the missions proved the operational capability of the space transportation system, that useful work can be done in space for the benefit of people on Earth. But the program has really just begun. Third orbiter in the shuttle fleet, Discovery, will be launched in 1984. The fourth orbiter, Atlantis, will be ready for use in 1985. New astronauts are being recruited. 73 shuttle flights are scheduled through 1988. The outlook for the future of America's space shuttle program is excellent, and there appears to be no end in sight.
Not right. It's not right, man. It's not right. It ain't right. Damn it. Oh, that still thrusts my gonads to this day, dude. Bullcrap. We were this close, Krennic. We were this close to greatness. Oh. Give him my damn space news chair. It's ridiculous. With this close. It's close to greatness. Bah! Damn it! Get my rage out on this.
Okay, the port restraint is out. Here comes the spin. Here it goes.
Damn it!
Yeah, we see it down here, Bill. It's beautiful.
Okay, Mike, we're in.
We were so close. Oh, this close to greatness. You see how good this thing is? Oh, you see those missions? These missions are sick. Did you see the SPA's mission? If you didn't watch that video, that part of the video, the SPA's mission was insane. Look at some of these freaking pictures.
Challenger are...
Look. No, we need better pictures than that. This one. Bro! Come on! It's not right. It ain't right. Look at the re-entry. Ah. Dude, towards the end of that video, the part of the VOD that was muted, this part. Look, you want to see something cool? See something sick? Watch this. So this next shot, so it's doing that's called the heading alignment maneuver. All right, it's basically line up with the runway so you can land. Now the next frame, this one. First of all, very nice Caprice right there. Very nice F-250. Okay, watch how quickly the shuttle comes into frame. And specifically, look at its descent rate. Watch the descent rate. Ready? Oh, that's a little sketchy. These old videos contain some of the best shots of the shuttle. You see that thing fall out of the sky? Isn't that cool? Yeah, man, Fu. You know what gets you at the beginning, the huge weight savings Challenger and associated fuel and SRBs had over Columbia. Iterative improvement within a project was so cool. Manfoot, that is precisely why Challenger is my favorite shuttle. It is my favorite shuttle because it's iterative. Challenger to Columbia is what Falcon 9 1.0 to 1.1 is. Challenger being 1.1. It is the next step. It was the next step. It was an iterative approach to the orbiters because they planned on building a lot of them. Like an airplane. Brother. I love that thing. You want a reason why I like space so much? It's that thing right there. Oh, so good. Dude, just look at this picture. Look at this picture of the roll. Come on. I don't know, Fluffy. I mean, there's no grappling thing with Dragon. That would be the big problem. No grapple apparatus. Ride, Sally, ride. Hell yeah. So freaking cool. How about the Getaway Special? They used to sell the aggregate excess payload weight to companies to do microgravity research. Sorry, you probably have already responded to this, but what was the main issue of the space shuttle failed? Programmatic, Phil. It was very much the people running the program. I firmly believe to this day that the shuttle is like Genesis for reusable spacecraft. It's Genesis. It is the blueprint. I still believe that to this day. I don't think budget necessarily screwed this program. Just, it was straight mismanagement. Straight mismanagement. It's the same lazy mistakes. The same lazy mistakes that almost got the Starliner mission, the CFT mission. Happy Thursday. Hey, Yum Food, what's up? It's treating, when I say it's programmatic, I mean it's treating the job. Okay, if you or I, okay, let me just say me. If I was working at NASA, do you think I would accept something like the SRBs blowing up on the way up and it being okay? You guys know me. You've heard my spaceflight analysis on things, right? If the SRB popped and you had an O-ring failure on the way up, I would ground the thing immediately. I don't give a frick. I don't care how much schedule pressure we're under. Ground it and fix that problem, or you're going to get someone killed. Right? That's not even a judgment call. That's just the right thing to do. But they didn't, and they kept flying it, and then one popped. You know, like with Starliner, you on the OFT-2 mission, you had problems with your pulse width modulation on your thrusters, and the controls mechanism for the redline controls mechanism on Starliner started shutting thrusters off during RPOD on the OFT-2 mission, the uncrewed docking for Starliner, right? They started shutting thrusters off. Then when they did the manual DOF test on Starliner CFT-1 with Butch and Sonny on board, the same freaking thing happened. Oh, that's weird. Same thing happened. You blew a poppet seal. Well, potentially blew a poppet seal. Same thing, same mistakes. You cannot be lazy in spaceflight. You cannot be lazy. You have to, dude, you have to be like autistically, like competent. If you don't, someone's going to get hurt. You can't dick around with this stuff. It's like airplanes. You can't screw around with it. You screw around with it, someone's going to get hurt. And coming up next, Orion heat shield problems. That's right, Triados. Do you think I would let Orion fly with people on it? Nope. Nope. Hey, you're going with a standardized configuration. Might as well redesign that heat shield while you're at it. You have to have the TISM, man. Like, you cannot treat this like it's just some country club day job. Can't do that. How was Titan? From what I remember, little dude would be better at February, March. He was graded, man. I was just playing with him while I was eating food. Yeah, he's fine. He's totally healthy. Actually, he goes to the vet for a checkup tomorrow, so good. You can't do this crap, dude. Can't be like that. You can't make lazy mistakes, as Phil. You can't. You absolutely can't. Someone's gonna die. Like, if you do. You can't dick around with this. Like, the second you don't take it seriously, the second you treat it like this is your retirement job, you're just sitting there to collect a pension, someone's going to get hurt. That's why it was a big deal when Jared Isaacman reclassified Starliner as a Type A mishap. That's why it was such a big deal, because that's snuffing out this crappy freaking behavior. Dude, the shuttle was freaking genius. I really don't care what anybody says. The shuttle was genius. It was an amazing design for what it is. Like, dude, look at that freaking thing. Look at that. We went from the Apollo CSM to that thing. Look at that thing. That thing is like 20,000 times more complicated. Look at it. It's beautiful. Oh, what a beast. And we didn't do anything with it. We built a stupid space station and then we were like, nah, that's fine. Look at that damn thing. That thing is awesome. No one is going to... Dude, the only people that are even going to get close to building something that rivals the shuttle's capability is SpaceX with Starship. No one else is ever getting close to that. Not in the near future. Starship is the only one. And when I say the shuttle design is Genesis, I mean that. It's Genesis. That's the first attempt at bringing something back from space that's not a pod. That's the first attempt. That was the first attempt. That's insane to me. That is crazy that we just cooked this up out of nowhere. Russia made one that could fly on its own. Russia made one that could fly on the air. Yeah, how's their shuttle program doing? Oh, wait. 100% the only thing that would have been better is Venture Star. But dude, even then, Venture Star is using information learned from that thing. Even Starship. What is Starship not using tiles? Starship uses tiles, man. I'm telling you, shuttle is Genesis. That thing is insane. Dude, quadruple redundant digital flight computer. Designed in 1972. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That's the Raptor. That is the Raptor and Starship of its time, only it worked. Starship will work someday. But, dude, NASA cooked this up. They cooked it up in 9 years. 9 years. 9 years. They cooked that up with 9 years. First test flight, successful right out of the box. What doomed the shuttle? Not the shuttle's design. We doomed the shuttle. That's the truth. Oh, God damn, I love that thing. To this day, guys, I was sitting there eating food. I was sitting there eating food, and I watched that footage of it coming in for a landing, and I was getting fired up. I'm like, yeah, grease that landed, bitch. Like I was getting fired up again. Damn, son. Boy. All I had to do was just take care of it. Stupid decisions, dude. The same stupid decisions that almost got Butch and Sonny killed. It's the same thing repeating itself. And you know what? This behavior should not be tolerated. Jared Isaacman was right. He was right to do that. I would have fired people. I don't give a frick. I don't give a frick if you work for Boeing. I don't give a frick if you work for NASA, I would have been like, yo, you're fired. And he'd be like, you can't fire me. I work for Boeing. I'd be like, all right, bye. I ain't working with you. You're an idiot. Like, damn, son, where'd you find this? How do you cook up? It just blows my mind. How do you cook up that thing on the first attempt at building a reusable vehicle? It's ridiculous in a good way. It's ridiculous. Like, how? How do you cook that up? You're fired, sir. This is a Wendy's. Like, it boggles my mind that someone was just like, yeah, we'll make this. Sounded like people were fired. Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Buran Energia. Yeah. Did not pass the test of suborbital Ultra F. Buran did make it into orbit on the 1K1 mission, November 1988. It did make it. It did 2 orbits and then autonomously landed at the whatever the Soviet Union called the landing strip at Baikonur. I forget what that airfield's called. To be fair, but it ain't no shuttle. I still love that thing to this day, dude. You know why? Because people can point at that thing and say, that's a spaceship. There it is. That's a spaceship. You could show this to a 5-year-old and it'd be like, oh, that's a spaceship. It's got rocket engines on the back. That's a spaceship. It was the stuff of sci-fi, man. I mean, Starship is the same way. Or at least hope that Starship would have the same kind of impact. But, I mean, Starship is having an impact on the test stand. Well, not recently, but, sorry, I wanted to make a joke. Closest to what we have in the shuttle is what Dawn is working on. Actually, did you see the quarter horse, Aqualux? The new quarter horse? Here, you know what? Let me fire up Space News and let me fire up the YouTube for Space News and we'll go from there. Quarter horse just did a test, dude. Damn, is it good. All right, let's go over there. Science and technology. God, I love that thing. The shuttle is so damn cool. All right, I still want to see a manned Dream Chaser. Aqualux, or not Aqualux, Admana, yeah, I'm with you, but Sierra Space exists. Hey, Dukas, we gonna watch Melbourne this weekend? Yeah, I'll probably watch. All right, let me get all the links ready to go and we'll get YouTube fired up. You mean you want to watch Aston Martin retire after 25 laps because the car is bad and it can't complete the full race distance? I am not saying a word. All right. I want that. The vibrations are that bad, it can cause nerve damage. What the? Never mind. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I showed that. That's dumb. I see what's going on there. But, I'm trying to find... Yeah, I'm not saying nothing. I'm looking for more links. I'm trying to find one more thing. You know what? We got enough to work. Here, let me fire up YouTube and we'll go. All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3... Okay, what's going on, everybody? It is March 5th. March 5th, 2026, and this is the Space and Rocket Review. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so what space news has there been since the last time? Well, the Kairos 3 did launch. I missed it yesterday because I was not feeling well. But here, check it out. Ready? This is where we'll start. So the Kairos is operated by a company out of Japan called Space One. It's a commercial launch vehicle. It did launch yesterday. And the ascent looked great right up until that. Yeah. To quote Das, did it just do a Kerbal? Yes. Yes, it did. The descent looks good, too. Yeah, that's not good for it. Hello. Yeah, everything's looking real good here. Ascent looked good. Pitch over looked great. And then this happened. Oh. Let me see. Oh. I don't know. Ooh, it looks like the vehicle's kind of sideways, dudes. It looks like it took a right-hand turn at Albuquerque there. That's Yeah, that's a shame. That was the third Kairos launch, and all three have failed. The first one blew up on the pad. The second one pretty much did the exact same thing that what you just saw there and exploded about 80 seconds into the flight. Third one, this one, blew up 75 seconds into flight. So clearly they're dealing with a late first stage anomaly here that they did not fix. But the fourth one, lad, that launched. The fourth one that launched. Come back on the fourth? Yeah, maybe. Whenever they go to launch that again. They did say that the flight termination system was triggered. It might be the FTS that caused that explosion because it looks like the vehicle's kind of flying sideways, which indicates a very big loss of control. Yeah. So that's not great, but that did happen last night. I unfortunately was not feeling very well, so I didn't get to see it, but it's okay. It's okay. So, the last space news that we did on Monday, Tuesday, I did cover a bill from an amendment to some legislature for the 2026 NASA authorization or NASA Reauthorization Act that entailed that 50% of NASA's launch, the money allotted for NASA's launching missions could be allocated only to one provider, meaning that by cost of mission, someone could only launch 50% of all NASA payloads. That was legislature that was introduced into the 2026 reauthorization by Jim Bridenstine on behest of his lobbying group called the Artemis Group. The Artemis Group's biggest company, the Artemis Group is a lobbying firm. Who is that? Well, companies pay you money to go gain favor with politicians. The Artemis Group's biggest contributor was ULA, who contributed United Launch Alliance, who contributed $990,000 in 2025. Yeah. Yeah, it went way out of the corridor, Aqualux. I think that's what went wrong. I think it went up and then it went that way, and once it couldn't compensate for it, they blew it up. I'm pretty sure that's what was going on there. Lobbying sounds horrific ethically. Yeah. Anyway, it got struck. It got struck down. Yeah. This is coming from Audrey Decker here. The Senate Commerce has struck down this provision. There will be no cap included in the final bill text. No cap, baby. So, I really don't think that was on purpose, but it's still funny. So yeah, that got the Senate Commerce Committee took a look at that bit of legislation and said, what's the word I'm looking for? No. So that's good. Yeah, DH, that's right. Yeah, a little bit later in the day. So yeah, that I'm happy that's gone. But the next bit of news is a little bit later in the day. We got a Rocket Lab mission. It's called Rocket Lab's Insight at Speed is a Friend Indeed. This is launching a Black Sky communications satellite, Gen 3 Mission 4. Black Sky is a commercial Earth observation company. They make imaging satellites. That's a name. That is a name. That is a name. And that pretty much. There's one Starlink at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and that pretty much is it. We're a little bit dry on the rocket front right now. Yeah, it's been a little dry lately, guys. There's not too much to talk about. Dude, we've been in like a dry spell since, well, shoot, November? Yeah. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a dry spell, but that's okay. Was the That's Not a Knife mission successful? It was. Yeah, that Peter Beck said it was a good mission. I don't know, man. Mission Control was doing something there, Scott, and I don't know what it was, but they didn't look like they were happy, but they still called it a mission success, so we don't know for sure. Lots of rocket launches this week, but very few space launches. No, Edmena, you're getting confused. Rockets go up and deliver payloads into space, and they stay there. They stay up there, ideally. The rockets don't go from one place to another and blow up. They got a word for that. It's called a missile, right? IRBM. It's right in the name. Okay. We don't do missiles here. It's the Space and Rocket Review, not Space and Missile Review. Am I right? With that being said, I did see an IRBM first stage fall and people run towards it. They ran towards the orange cloud because it's using unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine, and I'm like, you probably shouldn't go near that. That's good. Not even Sidewinders? It's right in the name. Ooh, F-16. It's right in the name. Sad week for Tomcats. That footage is just sad, but who knows? But we talk about Sidewinders. Yeah, goalie, I saw it. Mm-hmm. This year is the 70th anniversary of the Sidewinder going into service. What? No. 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 All right, anyway. Next bit of news. Firefly, this is coming from Firefly Aerospace, where testing is complete. Our inner stage for Northrop Grumman's Antares 330 rocket has successfully passed qualification testing. This carbon composite structure that connects the first and second stage was built in-house and tested beyond the flight loads expected during launch, proving its design and manufacturing integrity. Let's take a look. All right. Cool. Neat. All right. Firefly unfortunately did have a upper level winds scrub the other day, which kind of does suck. They are trying to get their Stairway to 7 payload up in the air, and it doesn't seem to want to payload. Or does it blow? I mean, is it bad that I like the Antares rocket and miss it? Antares was a cool little rocket when it was using off-the-shelf NK-33s. You know? It blows because of upper level winds. Okay. Actually, here we got the next bit of news is coming from my buddy Ryan here. That's Ryan Caton, spaceflight participant and enthusiast from, or spaceflight enthusiast from NASA Spaceflight Now. So Ryan says, according to an FAA News obstruction evaluation, airport airspace analysis, SpaceX is proposing to build a 320-foot, 97.5 meter communications tower immediately south of LC-39A. For comparison, this is only slightly shorter than the fixed service structure at the Falcon pad, which is 105.7 meters tall. The only information known about this permanent structure is its location, its height, and that it will hold antennas, and it will be marked with red lights. Ryan Catoon. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. Ryan Catoon of NASA Spaceflight Now enthusiasts. Oh. Interesting. Why was that interstage a weird shape? It's designed to, it's adapting the existing Antares upper stage to a newer Firefly stage. The Firefly Eclipse launch vehicle, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's slightly different core diameters, so it kind of tapers outward just a little bit, Hunter. Yeah, because as far as I can tell, Antares 330 uses the same upper stage. It uses the same Castor 30 XL and payload fairing as Antares 230, I think. I love that he mixed it. Yeah, he didn't put Interesting. So, a communications tower out there. I wonder what that's about. Yeah, no problem, Hunter. All good. Yeah, if you have a question, dude, just tag at EJSA. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see it. But yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. What else do we got? Here, let's take a look. How about we take a look at what's going on with Starbase Live? So the booster doesn't destroy any more antennas. That would be my guess. Yeah. So here's a live shot from my buddies over at NASA Spaceflight of Ship 39 billowing in the wind. Ship 39 has been doing what seems to be a very rigorous test campaign out on that revised Massey's test stand in preparation for Flight 12, which it's coming along. What was the deal with all that venting from Ship 39 the other day? That's what I don't know, dude. I don't know what the heck kind of test that was. They were doing something to that thing. My only guess is that they're testing a lot of things all at once and kind of stress testing the entire pneumatic system on the vehicle, because they were venting everything like crazy. Like, you can see 39.1 moved on the bottom right. Yes, it did. It's behind the Super Crusher. Interesting. The V3 vehicles can vent so much more, and I don't really get why. Yeah, Jerma, that's like, I was looking at it, and honestly, that test, I thought they popped it. I thought they popped another one. I was like, oops. That's not great. Not great, dude. Where do you think SpaceX will do all the pre-launch testing of Starship down at the Cape? So, Maddie, I think initially they're going to do the testing at Massey's, and then they're going to transport Starship and Super Heavy over there on a barge. And not I think, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Could be the defrost for the after landing test. It's possible. Stress testing for reuse capability. Driados, that's my guess. Yeah, that would be my guess. Booster 19 should be rolling out sometime soon. Pad 2 is almost missing all of its scaffolding. Yeah, that's right. That's right, it is. In fact, RGV Aerial has a shot right there. There it is. Man, that thing looks pretty darn finished. No, 39.1, Nikki. 39.1. 39 is fine. I thought it popped from all the testing that they were doing, but it turns out they could just vent everything all at once, all at the same time. Yeah, so that's a shot looking down the business end of this. And if you want scale, you could see people walking around on top of the OLM. It is quite large. They were purging the quick disconnects last night. On the main pad, Vanta? Ooh, yeah, 19's going to roll. 19's going to roll sooner rather than later. Is the booster getting engines? I would guess that they would cryo test it first. Or have they done that already? They did that already, didn't they? Oh, man, I'm so out of it when it comes to tank watching because it's just been such a lull lately. They already, yeah, that's right. They already did cryo booster 19. So yes, Yum Food, it is getting its engines. Yep. What is OLM? Orbital Launch Mount. It's this pyramid structure right here. The thing that the rocket launches off of. Apparently 13 engines have been fitted and the flaps are done. Yeah, that's right. Booster 19 cryo tested a lot. Sorry, yeah, they beat the crap out of that thing because Booster 18 popped. I'm guessing that SpaceX is just going through all their venting systems to make sure that they work, especially with what happened to Ship 36 and Booster 18. Obviously, grid fins, not flaps. I know what you meant, one man. Yeah. I know what you meant, dude. Pyramids really are launch mounts for spacecraft. Wanted to get data about possible icing issues. Once again, they're probably testing what's called fringes. Fringes in your, well, it's not really called that, but they're probably, what's the name of it? Guys, what's the name of something when it's still in family of data, but like on the very edge of like what's good and what doesn't work? Edge cases. That's what it's called. Fringe was a good show, yes. Yeah, they're probably testing on the very edge of the of like family data. They're long story short, they're beating the crap out of the booster on purpose and the ship. Because honestly, I said it once, I'll say it again. SpaceX cannot have this stuff pop. Ship 39 and Booster 19 need to work. There's no, oh no, it popped again. Oh my God. Ship 36 just blew up. Ship 38 can't have any of that. No more of that. No more shenanigans. This has to work. They have a human landing system they have to deliver. All right? Flight 12 has to work. Especially with an impending IPO. Yeah, they'll probably wait until after Flight 12 to do it, Vanta. That would be my guess. The booster transport stand at Sanchez has SPMTs under it, so it could be soon, but it's hard to tell. Is there a new Starship naming convention now? Yeah, V3SN1 is what Ship 39's name is, which... Nev, what's up? Do you think Booster 19 will be painted when it rolls to the pad like in the renders? We did see a small square painted when it rolled for cryo. I'm not sure if the whole thing's going to be painted. Nev, to be 100% real, painting stainless steel sucks. It sucks a lot, which is why Starship doesn't really get painted. Paint does not like adhering to stainless steel at all. You know, like, can you paint stainless steel? Yes, it's possible. Does it like it? No. It's like a Cybertruck or a DeLorean, right? Like, you do see painted ones, but it's not gonna last very long. Perhaps SpaceX is working on some kind of paint. The other thing that vehicles have to deal with, cryogenic vehicles, so vehicles that are using cold propellants, it freezes the paint off. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you look at stuff like New Shepard, like Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket, the tails, the New Shepard tails, the stage that pushes the capsule up, those have, you could see where the paint has gotten frozen off. It happens. Yeah, painting something that's fully cryogenic is not the best idea. It'll just freeze it off. But that doesn't mean that SpaceX hasn't figured out that problem either. Falcon 9 Block 5 is painted, and it doesn't have an issue, at least with the liquid oxygen side of the thing. But then again, we can't really see the paint on a lot of used Falcon 9s because it's covered in soot. Paint is also a lot of extra mass. Yeah, a couple 100 pounds or 100 to 1,000 pounds depending on the vehicle. It'd be awesome if they had a diffraction grading finish like the new Cybertrucks. And you could do that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I don't want it. Like, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't want to see a Starship that is painted to look like a space shuttle. So the back side of it, the leeward side, painted white. And the tiles black on the bottom. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't want that, because I want that. But stainless is, the stainless steel, yeah, it's tough to paint it. Tough to paint it, tougher to deal with cryogenic propellants. The painted section is thermal protection system, so it's likely glued to the steel. Paint glued to steel? With the USA and the flag. That's what I'm talking about, Ordon. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Here, hang on. It's getting a little warm. I gotta shut the door. We're getting a little cold. I gotta shut the door to get it to be warmer in here. All right. I wonder there would be now if they stuck with carbon for Starship. Probably in development hell, Vantorino. Stainless is so much easier to fabricate. Stainless supports the... Stainless steel supports the iterative design philosophy because it's so easy. It's so much easier to make than carbon fiber is. Paint the booster to look like Saturn. I can dream. We can dream. We can dream. Nev, that was a good question, dude. Yeah. Good stuff. Same place as Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab's scaling, but you got to, yeah, I mean, Yum Food, yeah, we got to remember that Electron is tiny. And that's a tiny rocket. It works when it's a tiny rocket. It's tough. It's a little bit tougher to do when you have a bigger rocket, right? Like, probably the same reasons you don't make submarines with carbon fiber. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. Yeah, carbon fiber is not very good at compression load. It's really not the right material for that. Yeah, it's really not good for that. It's really good at tensile loads. Yeah, like internal pressure, not external pressure. Submarines are very, 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 very susceptible to external pressure. Especially when you go dive deep with them. You can make submarines out of carbon fiber, just don't go wicked deep with them. Yeah. Neutron and in Archimedes, the Archimedes engines are way more controversial than you thought. Well, Rocket Lab did have a little bit of a setback, dudes. They did have a little bit of a setback. Yeah, their qualification tank popped. And it turns out, and we learned in the the quarterly earnings report that they made the qualification tank by hand. They hand laid the carbon fiber, which is I don't know why you would do that with your qualification article. Was it not a vendor doing that? I didn't get that far into it, Foz. That's of all the choices, that's certainly one of them. Yeah. Yeah, that's a way to go. They also used Pato's pictures. Did you see that? They used NSF's pictures in their quarterly earnings report. They used Pato's pictures. I'm like, what? What? Wait a minute. Yeah, they cropped his name out and used his picture in their earnings report. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. They took a page out of the NASA playbook, qualifying and then changing materials and procedures. What? Yeah, what are you doing? Did they pay him? Not that I know of. Yeah, Pato and Micah. That's, yeah, that's not cool, but whatever. What about HLS? What do you mean, Arturo? Yeah, believe me, Das knows about it. I talked to him yesterday. He knows. he knows. I've seen Archimedes called the definition of what it means to be terrified of risk in an industry that's famous for rewarding taking big risks. Ooh. I haven't heard that, Germa. Jeez. Predominant with an 86-month resub. 86. The struts got him because it's Kerbal. See all the struts? Look at all the struts right there. These struts got him. Oh, shit. You're going to need some paint. HLS, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point, Arturo. Yeah, HLS in every render has been painted. Huh. It's because they didn't have the robot to do it yet, maybe. You could technically do the layup by hand and have it be accurate. You just have to be hyper paranoid about getting it right, and you still run the risk of errors creeping in. Yeah, that's right. You know what? You're right. Yeah, you got to be hyper paranoid about getting it right, and you could run the risk of you still run the risk of errors creeping in. That's a really, really good point, dude. I mean, yeah, I guess they weren't paranoid enough. I guess they weren't paranoid enough, dude. Damn. Oh no. All right. Shall we get to the fun stuff? Zip it, chat. Zip it. I know. Dude, I'm going to show this article here from ours, and half of chat is going to be neuron activated, okay? Neuron activation. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do it to me. Okay? I'm going to show this article, and half of chat's going to be like, neuron activation. Okay? Just chill. All right? Just chill. Just chill. The Unabomber isn't in the room with us right now, okay? All right, so this is an article from Eric Berger. It's from yesterday. This is very interesting stuff. And, like, guys, I'm not trying to shoehorn politics down everybody's face. I know everybody hates it. I'm here for the space flight. So are you, all right? Let's go. Now, The U.S. Senate empowers NASA to fully engage in lunar space race. Okay. Remember, don't do it. But I live to be angry. All right. The abrasion on the palm of your left hand indicates a type 1 sustained fall of 3 to 5 feet. The key piece of plaster on your shoe, a careless mason being the culprit. I shall throw poop! Neuron activation. Dude, anytime, like, all right, people are going to not be listening to this part, chat, so people are going to come in like 5 minutes and be like, all right, anytime we do that, we just neuron activation. We just say, that's you. Okay? That's what we're doing. Unabomber, Ted Cruz is Zodiac. How do you know? How would you know that? Something you're not telling us? Maybe I did that on purpose. Maybe I did that on purpose to see whose neurons activate. All right, I'll stop. This man hated my son. All right. During a brief hearing on Wednesday morning, the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation spent only a few minutes marking up new legislation that provides guidance to NASA for its various initiatives, including the Artemis program to land humans on the moon. I'm just going to start putting random stuff in quotations. No, all right. No, let's actually let's read it. Our bill authorizes critical funding and gives strategic direction to the agency in line with priorities of Administrator Isaacman and the current administration. The duration of the hearing, however, seems to be the inverse of its significance. Ooh, look at Eric Berger with some inverse of significance. Look at you. Very nice. Elements of the legislation, now branded as the NASA Authorization Act of 2026, see full text. Yeah, I will. Thank you very much. Have undergone significant revisions since just last week. The sweeping changes follow NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman's announcement on Friday that he was shuffling the Artemis program to ensure that the space agency would beat China back to the moon and establish a long-term presence at the lunar South Pole. In large part, the Senate's bill endorses Isaacman's plan of action. NASA faces a series of challenges, Cruz said on Wednesday. Those challenges culminated in an announcement last Friday that NASA was making major changes to the Artemis missions and our eventual return to the lunar surface. Today, the Commerce Committee will help guide those changes. Do they understand that they need more money for that? Yeah, well, let's see. Here's the major changes, guys. I want to show you this. This is actually kind of a little bit unhinged here. With revised legislation, Cruz and the Senate committee have empowered Isaacman and NASA to make significant changes to the Artemis program. The revised plan for the space agency will likely lead to more launches and a much greater emphasis on the lunar surface. Among the key Artemis changes in the reauthorization legislation are: 1. It notes that the Space Launch System rocket has not met its intended flight rate and that the exploration upper stage is behind schedule and over budget. It allows Isaacman to identify alternatives for a new upper stage and gives him a green light to standardize the SLS rocket to fly it more often. This effectively cancels future upgrades as Isaacman sought. 2. The legislation does not mention the Lunar Gateway. Notably, a version of this legislation authored just last week said a lunar orbiting gateway was critical for future deep space exploration in Section 206. Now that language is gone, replaced by a request for Isaacman to brief Congress on plans for a lunar outpost in 60 days. Later in the legislation on page 34, it states the administrator may repurpose, reprogram, reconfigure, or reassign existing programs, platforms, modules, or hardware originally developed for other programs. Essentially, this allows Isaacman to use the elements of Lunar Gateway and a second mobile launcher tower for other purposes. Oh, yeah, behind schedule and over budget. Just remember that. I want to mention something to you after the article's done. The legislation contains a lot of other notable elements. For example, a provision championed by former NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine to cap the space agency's ability to procure commercial launch services was stripped out. Yeah, we already covered that. And the bill also extends the lifetime of the ISS till 2032 to give commercial space station providers more time to bring their private facilities online. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. But the big picture here is that the U.S. Senate has put out one of its most important pieces of spaceflight legislation in decades. Senators have instructed Isaacman to go fly the Artemis program with all due speed so that to do as he deems best and to focus on building a moon base rather than a space station in orbit. Yeah, I don't know, Aqualex. Yeah. Isaacman's vision seems to have resonated. In the past, reauthorization bills have often been laden down with parochial priorities. Ooh, Eric with the big words again. With individual legislators seeking to ensure that their states and districts get financial boons. There is some of that in this bill, of course, but there's also a sense that senators want to give Isaacman and his leadership team room to work with Artemis with a loosening of the reins and an increase in resources. That's actually a huge deal. I'll talk more about this in a second. Some of this is undoubtedly due to the recognition that China presents a real threat not to just beat the United States to the moon, but also establish a dominant position there if NASA and its partners continue to stumble along. China. However, the major text changes in just last week indicate that the committee members have a confidence in Isaacman and his vision. The private astronaut and successful businessman who was only confirmed in his position in charge of NASA in late December has displayed considerable political acumen in both navigating a fraught nomination process and then securing critical language in the authorization bill in such a short time. It may not be apparent to those outside of the space policy bubble, but these are indeed very significant changes that senators have resisted for years at the behest of traditional space lobbying and NASA field center politics. And Isaacman got it done in weeks. The legislation must still be approved by the full Senate and the U.S. House, but the fact that these key senators were able to approve the revision so quickly on Wednesday suggests that a full approval is likely. So, yeah, guys, it still needs to be approved in the Senate, as Eric said, but also at the same time, this is actually a big deal. But there is good and bad news here, in my opinion. Actually, screw that. It's not in my opinion. This is how it is. So, first and foremost, this part. It's on page 34. Let's go to the bill. I'm just a bill. Use of existing hardware. The administrator may repurpose, reprogram, reconfigure, or reassign existing programs, platform modules, or hardware originally developed for other programs. That is a big deal. Not just because it says, so, okay, I'll give you an example. Mobile Launcher 2, they just abandoned it, right? And the EUS, they just abandoned those programs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be canceled. I mean, the EUS probably, which... Yeah, I'm not sure I'm okay with that, but it remains to be seen. Now, reuse, repurpose, reprogram, reconfigure, reassign existing programs opens up the door. It opens up the door for NASA being able to denote the architecture needed to perform the tasks that they've been asked to do. That is huge. Okay, why is that a big deal? Since the 2010 NASA Authorization Act, all right, which gave us this heaping pile of SLS, right? The Congress has denoted what NASA, not only what, so the executive says what NASA should be doing, and Congress denotes how they should do it. They've said you have to use SLS, you have to use this many engines, you have to use these SRBs. This is a return to how NASA was before the 2010 NASA Authorization Act screwed everything up completely. Yeah. Politicians should not denote what type of architecture you're using to get to the moon. That is dumb. It's been dumb for 16 years now, and it's still dumb. It'll still be dumb in another 10 years. Okay? NASA should be able to choose their own architecture to get wherever they need to go. And in that regard, I don't know if, see, I don't like canceling the EUS, but that means we could get a better upper stage for SLS in the future. And that says that Mobile Launcher 2 doesn't necessarily have to be used for the first 8 Artemis missions, which is also good. Now, like I said, this is a mixed bag, to be 100% honest with you. It's a mixed bag. Well, I do like all these changes in this bill, and it still does have to pass in the Senate. I really do like all this stuff. Guys, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there aren't red flags here. The first red flag, first and foremost, is canceling something that I quote is behind schedule and over budget. That is the reason why anyone cancels anything in spaceflight. Seriously, everything gets canceled because it's behind schedule and over budget, so to speak. That's a little bit of bull crap, to be 100% honest with you. That's snake oil. Every aerospace program is behind schedule. Every single one of them. It happens to everybody. So saying it's behind schedule and over budget is a little ridiculous. However, that is in context of the Exploration Upper Stage, a program that has been on the books for 15 years and has not even produced one stage. So I think it would be okay to make that argument here. Right? Everyone. I think it'd be okay to make that argument in this particular context. However, and this is the big point that I want to get at. Do I like what Jared Isaacman is doing here? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. This certainly is a good plan. It's a good enough plan, I guess. But I will say this, guys. Every single time someone has canceled something because it's behind schedule and over budget, every single time that has happened, we have whoever says, I have a better solution and this better solution is going to work, every single time has failed. Failed miserably. I've seen men empty entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Are you throwing clips at agents? You know, clips go in a magazine, right? Morpheus? No? All right. Everyone that has tried to do this has failed miserably. They tried to do this when they canceled Constellation, and it gave us SLS. They tried to do this after they canceled the Saturn V, and it gave us the space shuttles. Well, an awesome vehicle, something that is not nearly as capable for beyond low Earth orbit activities as the Saturn V. Once again, I would make the argument that it's not necessarily about, I think the shuttle could be perfectly capable of doing a BLEO architecture, but we never did because, you know, they removed NASA's dick in 1972 and hasn't given him back to them. Maybe until now. Paperclips. So, like I said, this is the EUS program ridiculously behind schedule? Yes. Would it have been ready in 2028? Maybe. Is standardizing an SLS architecture a good idea? Yeah, probably. If it was me, I would have standardized around the EUS, but it doesn't matter. Hey, Nabat converted a Prime to a Tier 1 sub. Thank you. Now, like I said, everyone who has made this argument that what we're currently doing isn't working, I have a better solution, every single time this argument gets made, NASA gets the shaft. Canceling programs, especially ones with fabricated flight hardware, has never, ever ever worked, ever, period, full stop, in the entirety of NASA's history. From 1958 till now, it has never worked. Ever. But one could make the argument that Jared Isaacman is a bit of an anomaly here. Jared is not like other NASA administrators. So, like I said, this is why I'm not like sounding the alarm here. Because the one difference between now and like past examples of this is that we have the U.S. has a very strong commercial market. SpaceX exists. And Blue, right behind them. Right? And then there's Rocket Lab, there's Relativity, there's Stoke, there's Firefly. There's all these private industries to back this up. Right? Now, I do have my reservations about NASA not having an in-house program and not having their own way to get to the moon. I think that is a notoriously bad idea, which is why I don't think canceling the EUS was a good idea if you're not going to replace it with something that's at least on par or more capable. We know that, we don't know for sure, but it's been theorized that this getting rid of the EUS and moving SLS to a standardized Block 1 configuration to increase the flight rate is a SLS with a Centaur 5 from United Launch Alliance on top of it. Which, I would argue that is not a comparable thing to what the EUS should be. It's not. It's not nearly as useful. But who knows? But yeah, things are being shaken up at NASA, and I do appreciate Jared coming in like a wrecking ball. That is what NASA needs, but whether these changes will be a really smart idea or a really stupid idea is kind of up to history at this point. I'll be honest with you guys, if this was Jim proposing this, if this was Jim Bridenstine or even Bill Nelson or Charlie Bolden proposing this, I would be sounding the alarm right now. But because it's Rook, and I'd like to think I understand where he's coming from, right? In my kind of analysis on the situation. I'd like to think that I know where he's coming from. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this. Centaur is ready, EUS is not. I mean, yeah, Spoiled, you can make that argument, but rockets ain't Lego kits, dude. Rockets aren't Lego kits. You can't just plop one stage on top of another. Like, that's not really how it works. But now, see, here's the thing. I say that's not really how that works. That would be how it doesn't work with the way that NASA has kind of been treading water. With NASA of 10 years ago, with NASA of 15 years ago, you wanted to change an upper stage, you wanted to change your propulsion for something, dude, years. It's going to take years. It's going to take years to get it done. Maybe, and this is why I'm 50-50 on this, maybe it's possible that canceling the EUS now gives us a better upper stage later. And standardizing Block 1 SLS around a Centaur 5 will give us an increased flight rate that will lead to better upper stages in the future. And that's what I mean about being 50-50. And guys, like, for the first time in a long time, I'm looking at this and I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. In the past, it's been fairly predictable. Like, I knew that under Space Policy Directive 2, Jim Bridenstine decisions at NASA were going to give us an increased flight rate. Jim got the SLS program starting to, not, spin the tires. They got it to start gaining traction. I could tell you that was the result of what he was doing, and that was really smart. And I could also tell you that Bill Nelson's like, we'll launch when we're ready. I could also tell you at the same time that was a dumb thing to do, right? But for the first time in a long time, I don't know. I don't know. This could go either way. I don't think that's a good thing to do. Just because you like the guy doesn't make a bad decision suddenly good. It's not that I like him, Lux. Like, I do. for what it's worth. It's very much that I really appreciate how he goes about solving these problems. I really appreciate his ideas for NASA. And honestly, it's a good call. It's a good call increasing SLS's flight rate. That's a good idea. That is what I've been asking for a freaking decade at this point. Right? That's a freaking decade, man. Where's the progress on this better than an EUS upper stage again? Yeah, I know. It's easy. See, that's what I mean. It's easy to say that this is a bad idea, but I'd say we're in a very unique position with the commercial market the way it is. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I think canceling the EUS is a good idea. I was for canceling the EUS as long as you have a plan for a better one. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. I'm a bit lost here. How is this any different than what you said before canceling a program in hopes of getting something better later? Yeah, it's not. That's what I mean. It could come down 50-50. Like, I don't know how... I've explained this already, but... Nelson for sure pushed that Starliner flight that wasn't ready. Yeah, fellas, I don't know how I could make this any clearer. It seems like you guys are getting confused. Everyone that has done something like that right there has failed catastrophically in the past and screwed NASA completely. I'm not saying that that's not an outcome that could happen. But Jared Isaacman's ideas of NASA atrophying and bringing in competent personnel and offering 2-year internships in exchange with industry positions is a good idea. And that could help in the future. That is kind of what I'm banking on for the 50% that it could go in the right direction. Rook isn't just saying cancel it because it's behind schedule and over budget and we'll figure out something later. He's saying cancel it because it's behind schedule and over budget, and I want to bring people back in-house so we can design stuff that we actually need. That's a really big difference. Hear me out. SpaceX buys ML2 and modifies it for Starship HLS for 39A clean pad. You can't tempt me with a good time, goalie. That would be fantastic. Sorry, I was just going off. Nelson will fly when we're ready. Yeah, we'll fly when we're ready. Yeah, give me a freaking break, Bill. You have no idea what's going on, do you? It's very apparent. It's very apparent nowadays. Rarest, it's very apparent that that dude had no clue what was going on. Like, no clue. Historical data doesn't suggest 50-50. Just because you like this horse doesn't change the odds. Okay, yeah, I've given you several... Okay, all right, now I'm a little annoyed. I've given you several very clear examples of why this is historically different and could end in a good favor, and you guys say, well, just because you like the guy doesn't mean that it's going to work. Yeah, I know. Dickhead, are you listening to me? Like, come on, man. Bringing NASA forces back in-house. Getting rid of the huge, ridiculous horizontal integration that NASA does, getting rid of SBIR contracts, that's a good idea. And you can't sit here and say that it's not.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Come on, don't do that to me. Don't say, well, your analysis is flawed because you like him. Fuck you. How about that? Valid freaking crash out, man. Come on, you can't sit here and say that this is all bad and you can't doom and gloom about this, right? No, this could be a good thing. You don't know that for sure. Now, once again, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all sunshine and rainbows either. Right? It's not. This very much could implode catastrophically. I'm not going to sit here and say that it can't. Canceling, I really think that getting rid of the EUS without something else and saying we're going to come up with whatever in the future is a dumb idea. I said that. That was like one of the first things that I said. I even said, remember, behind schedule and over budget when I read Eric's article. Come on, you got to cut me some slack, dude. We had good commercial space and in-house construction back when they canceled the Saturn V. This situation isn't historically unique. Brother, come on. to even sit here and say that this is in any way the same as getting rid of the Apollo program that's ridiculous. That's being deliberately obtuse. Come on now. Come on. I think I've been very fair here, okay? It isn't the same. NASA's in a much worse position. That's what I'm saying. Like, this could be very bad, but it also could be very good. It's hard to say. For the first time in a long time, I don't know. There's a lot of precedents here that, unfortunately, we have a lot of experience in, but there are a lot that aren't either. The thing here is that Jared seems to have the support of Congress, which is interesting, to say the least. Okay, Duke, it's not just me, man. Like, it's not because I figure you guys would at least give me the benefit of the doubt there. I'm not just saying this because, you know, I like Jared. I do like him. I think he's good, but dude, this could implode catastrophically. I still think, like, for instance, like, flying people on Artemis 2 is dumb. That's really dumb. Especially if you're standardizing SLS in the future. This is the perfect test opportunity to test that heat shield again without people on board, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because, the analysis makes sense. No. My worry is we have Artemis 4 planned for 2028 and we don't have an upper stage for it. Yeah. Yeah, they best get going. They best get going. Like, once again, anytime that anybody has ever done this before, canceled something that's behind schedule and over budget, and say we're going to do it this way because it's better and it'll get done faster and it'll be cheaper. No, that's never worked. It has never worked. Ever. Ever. Like, that's never worked. You know? I think the difference between disaster and triumph is going to depend on who they can recruit and, more importantly, on Isaacman's leadership. Yeah. I mean, you want me to be even more unbiased? He's done a lot of talking. Let's see how it goes. You've set some pretty lofty goals for yourself. And you are certainly putting yourself into a fighting ring where everyone else has, like, gotten a fractured orbital socket because they tried to fight this fight and lost miserably. So we'll see what happens, dudes. Worked for my parents when they didn't take us to Disneyland. That explains a lot with you, Soapbox. More to the point, money. If Congress doesn't provide the proper funding, this is all nothing more than a mental exercise. We'll see what happens. You can't say conclusively which way that's going to go, Hellfish. You can't say conclusively. Because, dude, a week ago, we were saying you can't cancel the EUS without congressional approval, and yet here we are. That's what I mean, dude. This is clearly not exactly a historical precedent. We're in a historical territory here. Abso-freaking-lutely. And to say that, you know, oh, you're just saying that because you like Jared Isaacman is ridiculous. This could work. It's possible. Is it how I would have done it? No. No, absolutely not. I would have standardized SLS as well and increased the flight rate. I would have done it around the EUS. Yeah, I would have done it around the EUS. I would have, yeah, done that around the EUS because that's a good idea. It's just a bill at this point. Remember, some of the bills we fawned over, they never passed. Well, we'll see. 50% weighting that it's never worked in history. 50% weighting all the differences in how Isaacman is shaking things up. It's hard and fast numbers. It's just, I'm just saying it's a coin toss. That's right, Josh. That's what I'm getting at, dude. Yeah, Chris, I'm kind of with you on that one. What would you replace the EUS with? How crazy we talking here, Lava? And excuse my language, I'm sorry. Guys, I don't give you guys analysis on what's going on in the spaceflight industry because I like someone. I'm sorry for yelling, but that's bullshit. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. That's not fair. Okay? You know who you are. Anyway, Lava, what would I replace the EUS with? Okay, how crazy do you want to be? So, like, if it was me, if I was in Jared's shoes right now, I wouldn't cancel the EUS. I think that's a really stupid idea. I think that's really dumb. For straight up, I would increase flight rate for Block 1B, and Block 1B would be my standardized version of SLS. I think the SLS program is far enough along to where you can start to increase schedule and cadence. It would be a bold goal, but it's no bolder than standardizing SLS around a Centaur 5. Really, that's challenging. That's not going to be easy to do. Let's say Cthulhu came in and erased all memory of SLS second stages, and they asked you what NASA should make. I'm running numbers in my head. Give me a moment. Okay. I would prefer realistic. Okay. Guys, it's going to sound dumb, and this is going to sound like a really, like, obvious answer. An S4B, Saturn V third stage, an S4B with a vehicle carrier and Orion service module on top of it. Honestly, that would be great. That would be perfect for SLS. You could do co-manifested missions. It can do everything that SLS Block 1 could do. It could do everything that 1B and Block 2 could do. It could do it better, actually. Hey, that's what I said. You stole my answer. No, you stole my answer. You read my mind. I would look at all the engines readily available today and design a stage that has enough Delta V to do the mission. That's basically what the EUS is, dude. Well, I said it first. Well, I said it last. All right? It's not about starting things. It's about finishing them. Like going to the moon on time. Hey, all right. Hey, yeah. A neutron upper stage? I would not put a neutron upper stage on top of SLS. No, I would not do that. An S4B, but with an RS-25? No. I don't think that's a good idea. I think a rocket that could send the spacecraft to the moon is a good starting point. Yeah. A vacuum nozzle RS-25 would be awesome. RS-25 already has a vacuum optimized nozzle, dude. An S4B with a J2X. Yeah, that pretty much, Creeper. I mean, if you guys want, Lava, if you want technical specifications, okay. I would want aluminum lithium, billet ortho grid structure, stir welded, common bulkhead with, a J2X. J2X would be good. You could get away with clustering RL10s. I mean, that's a little bit complicated, but you could do it. You need a high energy upper stage. So something like the J2X, like the Earth departure stage would be fine. I really don't think that's, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. It's all rocket science. It's all Greek to me. Everything is difficult, but I really don't think that would be too tall of an order. Now, to be 100% honest with you, getting that done by 2028 is not happening. But I don't think that's what you're asking in the context of this question, dude. In the context of this question, I'm pretty sure you're asking, like, what would I put up there? That's what I would put up there. 4 RL10s on an upper stage and yeet it. That's basically what the EUS is. B3Us, Hellfish. Yeah. An 8.4 diameter billet orthogrid aluminum lithium stir welded common bulkhead with 2 or 4 B3Us. That would be perfect. That's fine. With SLS's wide core diameter, that stage would not have to be very tall. And Lava Eagle, what I would do is shorten SLS Block 1B's inner stage. Shorten it to make up for the increased tank diameter. and go from there. And then put the universal stage adapter on top of that. Yep. Put the USA on top of it. And yeah, go from there. Wait, is the J2X in production? I thought it was theoretical. They made 3 of them 15 years ago. Ponzister. B3Us would be better. I would go to Blue and procure some B3Us. Breaking news. EJ said Jared should go stubby. Soapbox, shut the hell up. I'll come and find you and slap you. don't do that to me, man. Not carbon fiber? No. No, aluminum lithium is tried and tested. It would work. SLS, but turn on infinite fuel in sandbox mode. Can we not use hydrogen as a fuel? In the applications of a space exploration rocket, I would probably want hydrogen. Methane has not yet proven to be good for human exploration. That might change in the future, but who knows? I would love to see Raptor engines on top of SLS. A vacuum Raptor up there would be perfect. Yeah, if we could get away with doing that stir-welded aluminum thing and using Methalox instead of Hydrolox with a vacuum Raptor, I don't think that would be the stupidest idea. B3U would be nice for common fueling architecture. That's really where I'm at, yeah. Raptor-specific impulse is a bit poop, though, compared to LH2. That's why the B3Us were my first thing. Like, basically a New Glenn an 8.4 meter New Glenn upper stage on top of it would be fantastic, actually. Could you do a full-flow hydrogen engine? Yeah. Full-flow stage combustion with hydrogen? Yeah, you could do that. I mean, it'd be difficult. You'd have to worry about leaks because of the chamber pressures. But you have, I mean, Pigs, you got to look at it this way. Raptor 3 leaks. They have leaking problems with methane. So, I mean, just some food for thought. What do you think doomed Flight 7 and Flight 8? Leaks. GS2 9x4. Yeah, Akastor, sure. I mean, dude, that's what kills me. NASA had the opportunity to... Blue tried to lobby the U.S. government and NASA to use to cancel the EUS in 2017 and put a New Glenn second stage on top of SLS. NASA said no. Do you know why they said no? They said no because New Glenn Stage 2 would be a schedule risk to the program. That was their cited reason. Huh. Pot. Meet kettle. Boeing is a schedule risk. Yes. I can do some quick delta V calculations using the B3U with the same overall stage mass to avoid having to redesign stage 1 structure. Well, Lava, you got to remember the core stage is designed to have a Hydrolox upper stage and a co-manifested payload with Orion and its launch abort system on top. That it is already designed for that. It's designed. The core stage was designed for Block 1B. So Jim said no. Jim wasn't there yet, Fluffy. It was in 2017, I believe. Could you give me the thrust, specific impulse, and weight comparison for the New Glenn upper stage and the RL-10? I know the RL-10 is donkey's efficient. B3Us are 428 second specific impulse. Glenn stage 2 is a Hydrolox upper stage, and it has 2 of them. And each one of them produces 700 kilonewtons of thrust. The EUS has 4 RL-10 CXs in it. Each one of those produces 452 second specific impulse at 99 kilonewtons of thrust. So 4 RL-10s on the EUS have less thrust than 1 BE3U. I mean, taking everything into account, like having the same mass as the EUS with everything else equal. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Dude, the liquid oxygen tank wouldn't be able to take the thrust. You got to remember, they're hanging that liquid oxygen tank on the EUS. You can't just swap an engine out on it. Especially one that makes double what 4RL10s would make. It's actually one question I have. Which do you think would be faster to do? A new interstage to fit GS2 or bumping GS2 diameter to match the SLS core? The interstage for GS2 is probably better. Yeah, that's probably a better solution. Open interstage, just pipes. Rocket Lab launched in about 30 minutes. Yep. Did Jim just lobby for a limit on the percentage of flights NASA can buy from SpaceX? Yeah, and the same bill that, the same bill that we're talking about here actually took that part out. Jared Isaacman probably went to Ted Cruz and said, yeah, see that part? That part's dumb. Don't do that part. Which, I agree. That's a good, yeah. Limiting that, saying that only one provider can get like 50% of NASA's launch contract costs, and saying that under the guise of, oh, it's competition. No, it's not. That's the opposite of that. That means participation trophies. And participation trophies don't work very well in spaceflight. Ask the Starliner program. Look, I know that the capsule could be better. I know it's too much middle management if somebody's out there working on it. I know the reasons. People are morons. I get it. It's not the people turning the wrenches. Those people care. Because you wouldn't be turning a wrench on a spaceship for fun. You wouldn't do that for money. You do that because you love spaceships. I get it. But also, it's fun to crack jokes. This whole conversation is a perfect example as to why just looking at specific impulse and thrust is absolutely not enough and can give false hope. Bingo. Lava Eagle, the reason why I said what I said with a 8.4 meter core, aluminum lithium, ortho grid, so billet barrel segments, stir welded together with a common bulkhead, and B3Us, is because that's the closest you're going to get to an S4B. The reason why I want aluminum lithium is because that's the same thing that the core stage is made out of. It's bad to mix materials like that. You can. Atlas Centaur is a good example, or Atlas V, or Vulcan. Not a bad idea. But the aluminum lithium ortho grid will be able to handle the loads encountered and the vibrations encountered with SLS. It'll work. I think it'll be a better application from a vibration standpoint. And I want the over 1 meganewton of thrust. You need high energy upper stages, not just high delta V, right? You need high TWR to go with it. So you can use your characteristic energy in a timely manner because orbital mechanics doesn't wait for your low thrust, high efficient engines to go somewhere, right? No, it's very calculated decision, which is why I would want what I want. I'm not just saying the scope of the stage it has, but all other stuff too. For instance, bumping GS2's diameter would let us use the work done on the SLS payload adapters and fairings and such. Yeah, Alexa, yeah, no, I understand. I think it's easier to change GSE than it is to change stage diameter. Increasing diameter on a stage is not as easy as you might think. You have to go back into load analysis, changing a stage diameter. Big load analysis differences between an 8.4 and a 7 meter stage. Oh, I agree. It was more of a general statement. I got you, Lava. Oh, okay. Cool. Real quick, both Centaur and GS2 are also aluminum ortho grid. Centaur is stainless steel, Josh. GS2 is ortho grid aluminum stir welded. Yeah. GS2 is exactly what we're looking for. Except if it was 8 point... The stage that I'm proposing is basically GS2, but 8.4 meter diameter. We see stretched rockets all the time. We never see flattened ones. Bingo. That's why Starship 12 meter will never happen. You would literally have to redo everything. Yes. Precisely. And that's also the reason why New Glenn 9x4 looks ridiculous. It looks really goofy. How much more do you think we could get out of an S4B with modern material science? Way more, dude. Centaur's using stainless steel. Balloon tanks, Josh. I still have my reservations about using a Centaur 5 up there, to be 100% honest with you. You know, Eric Berger, like, proposed putting a Centaur 5 up there, like, years ago. I do not think Centaur 5 using stainless steel balloon tanks can handle the loads. I really don't think so. If we look at Vulcan... Let's just look at Vulcan's wiki page, all right? Check this out. Let me look at some payload mass. All right, look. What's the biggest number that you see here? What's the biggest number? VC6. 25,600 kilos. All right, there's the VC6 proposed upgrade, 26,900. Okay, right? You see that, all right? So remember, let's say 26, 27 tons. Right now, I mean, VC6 has never flown. Let's just say 25,600. Look. So now let's go look at Orion. The command module, Orion command module with the European service module, 26,520 kilograms. See what I'm talking about? Now, that's not including the launch abort system. The launch abort system, add another 5 tons to that. There's no freaking way. That's assuming with the nozzle, right? Yes. I see what you did there. How much does the Orion launch abort system weigh? The Orion launch abort system is 7,600 kilos. So Orion, with the ESM and the launch abort system and the stage adapter, is pushing like 30 tons. At least I would hope. Well, not I'd hope. I'd hope that this is just... I'm wondering if that's just the capsule. Oh, total with LAS. Hey, it is. Yeah, I should be able to read. 33,446 kilos. Centaur can't do that. It can't do that. That's way out of its load analysis. That's why everybody says, oh, it's a Centaur 5. It's a Centaur 5. No, it's not. And if it is, it's going to be some really crazy upgraded Centaur 5. Vulcan can't... Yeah, that's why Vulcan... I'm not sure Vulcan could launch Orion. It's too heavy. When is the next Starship? Flight 12 is probably going to be next month. I'd say later next month. Prominent? Later. Yeah, the Orion with the launch abort system is 33,404. Dang, that's a heavy capsule. Holy crap, that thing's heavy. But the Orion capsule is heavy in the same way that an RV is heavier than a car. The Orion's supposed to go further. It's supposed to go a lot further into space than any other capsule. It's not something you just go to get groceries with. It's something you go camping in because it's designed for beyond low Earth orbit exploration, right? Do you think V3 can reach 100-ton payload capacity? Battle Seb, if it gets close, I'll be impressed. 100 tons is a lofty goal. It might. Dude, even if they can hit like 80 tons or even 70 tons, if Starship can do 70 tons into Leo by itself, pretty good. Elon said it's going to reach 100 tons, so there's no way it'll reach 100 tons. I mean, guys, I'll be honest with you. If you look at the differences in mass between Block 2 and Block 3, the Block 3 using Raptor 3 shaves off like 20 to 30 tons. Raptor 3 is just that much lighter. It seriously adds up. You know, Super Heavy only has 3 grid fins instead of 4. That's a boatload of mass saved in your first stage. Just something to consider. Can we just put Orion in Starship's cargo bay? That would be the coolest thing to do, T-Man, in my opinion. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. What about more Centaur 5s? Yeah, I don't know. Let's put it in the explosive grain silo with no launch escape system. The attic is deleted from the Block 3 design, Gobo. Yeah, no more attic. Raptor 3 is designed to work with the leaks. Yeah, that was the whole thing. That the attic, that whole fire suppression system, that was a mitigation just because SpaceX was already gonna. They fixed it. Well, fixed it with Block 3. We'll see if they actually fixed it. You know what I mean? You make more Delta V in thrust. I don't understand how more Centaurs are going to do that. I'm thinking shuttle Centaur G with Starship and Orion. That would be pretty damn cool, T-Man. That would be pretty sick, actually. That's why they welded the crap out of the engine to stop most of them. Yep. Deleted all flange. Deleted all flanges, Vanta. Now, I will admit, that is going to make that engine very difficult to do maintenance on, because everything's welded together. If something breaks, you basically strip all useful parts and throw it away. But that's the idea. Because part of SpaceX's stakeholder expectations is mass manufacturability. That's the whole point. You know, you want to make more Raptors, not less. Scale solves that problem, correct. I can't wait for the engine bay cam on Starship V3. Yep. Finally get SpaceX to upgrade Falcon Heavy so they can carry weight, so it can actually carry the weight that's maybe for Orion and Artemis 3. You'd have to go redesigning Falcon 9's second stage to do that 3LRD. That's the reason why I think SpaceX didn't do it. That's why I said they just moved to make Starship, because I mean, honestly, if we could take GS2, Glenn Stage 2, and put it on top of Falcon Heavy, put the Orion on top of that, holy balls, that would be a disgustingly good rocket. It would look goofy as hell, but it'd be a really good rocket. You know, it would look ridiculous, but it would still be pretty damn cool. It would really give off some Titan 4 vibes, if you guys know Titan 4. Titan 4 looks goofy. But, well, it doesn't look too goofy, but it does look a little strange. You look at a Titan 4 and you're like, oh, that's neat. But then you realize that the center core here is like 3 stages and 2 SRBs on the side, and then the fairing has another stage inside of it with a payload on top. And you look at that and go, wait, what? There's like 2 stages here, and then there's a Centaur in there. And then there's the payload on top. It's a very, very strange design. I see no problem with this. Yeah, right. A Falcon Heavy with GS2 on top would look like that. It would look ridiculous, but damn, would it be good. That would be a great rocket. I mean, Lava, do those calculations out, Lava Eagle, if you're still here. Do those calculations out. Falcon Heavy with a GS2 on top. I'll bet you that could throw 100 tons into space. I'll bet you it could do that. Sure. let me just do some quick math. Let's do some quick math. So 2,400 times 7. So New Glenn first stage is 16,800 on board. And then Falcon Heavy has 27 engines that produce about 900 kilonewtons of thrust. That makes 24. Yeah. Yeah, that would work. I'll bet you that that'd probably do 100 tons. Probably do 100 tons easily. With reusable boosters? Yeah, that's reusing the boosters. Yeah. Starship HLS could even dock in 2027. How could Starship HLS even dock in 2027 with those COPVs? It's not safe for crew. They have some work to do, and that's why I think they're testing the snot out of Ship 39 right now. I think that's entirely on purpose. Linzister, should I boot up Real Solar System and test it? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely you should. They did an entire methane system on a Falcon pad just to launch Blue Ghost. Yeah. But New Glenn's second stage is Hydrolox, dude. No, T-Man. So Falcon Heavy with a Carolox upper stage can do 70 metric tons. I mean, you're never putting 70 metric tons of anything in there, right? However, that with a Glenn Stage 2 on top of it, and, you know, yeah, I'd say probably 100. You're losing a lot of TWR there because you have a gigantic freaking upper stage now instead of the little Falcon 9 stage. But honestly, yeah, with booster reuse, probably not 100 now that I'm really thinking about it. It'd probably be about 70 with the reuse. Can you give me the stage breakdown? I need to know what engines for what stages. So, Falcon Heavy with 27 Merlins, three Falcon 9 sticks with GS2 up top. GS2 is a 7-meter stage with 2 B3Us on top. And New Glenn's fairing. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, that would look sick. Yeah, that would look really cool. It would give Titan 4 vibes off, and it would look ridiculous in a good way. In a good way. Transporter Erector would have to get redesigned. You'd need to really redesign the TE at this point. Yeah. What would SLS look like with GS2 on top of it? Actually, somebody gave me a render of what that would look like the other day. See if I can go find it. There we go. Here, look at this. Damn, that looks good. Oh, that would be just mint. Just mint. That would look so good, dude. This one right here. Oh, now that's a capable launch vehicle, man. Yeah, this is what I've been saying the Artemis program should do for a long time. Ooh, Rocket Lab is live? Hell yeah. Hey, Ian. The Crew GS2 SLS looks whack, but the cargo one looks great. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Ian, I'm not going to lie to you. That's a looker right there, man. That is a looker of a freaking rocket, dude. Whoo, she pretty. Damn. Damn. Ares 5. Yep. I don't mind this. This one doesn't look bad either. It's a little, this whole thing This whole thing right here is a little bit goofy looking, but whatever. Whatever. I mean, Ian, what I've been saying, dude, is, you know, so you know on Atlas 5 500, right? You have the CFLR, the Centaur Forward Load Reactor. Do that with an 8.4 meter fairing here, right? So you have an 8.4 meter fairing that goes all the way up to here. You have a GS2 Forward Load Reactor, and then an 8.4 meter fairing here. And then you could take Orion, the EUS Universal Stage Adapter, and put the 1B parts on top of that. Holy balls, dude. I think that would look, it would look just beautiful. It would, yeah. And you'd also be able to carry whatever up there. Like, dude, you could put 50 tons of lead in the Universal Stage Adapter. It'll put it into space easily. You could probably you probably put it on TLI at that point, which is, so I'm saying, man, some Ares 5 type stuff. Like, dude, we could do this. Like, I hope Jared does this. I really do. I really hope he does. This would be disgustingly good architecture for exploring the moon, building transfer vehicles to go to Mars. You could build a nuclear transfer stage out of a GS2. Oh. Please do this. Please. Will it work with ML2? This you might have some problems with this with ML2. I think it's a little too tall. That was the big other reason why they didn't put a New Glenn second stage on top of SLS in 2017. They were like, no, it's not going to fit inside the VAB. It's like, fellas, if ground servicing equipment is the limitation for why your space program can't do what you want it to do, you need to rethink how you evaluate missions. I'm just saying. Will that work with ML2? I mean, more of the weight. Yeah, should be okay. I mean, that 50 tons of lead thing, yeah, probably not, but... In other words, we shouldn't have canceled Constellation and we would have basically had that rocket. Look, dudes, all I'm saying is Ares 5 is... I think Ares 5 is a good idea. I still think it's a good idea. I still do. Just saying. Ares 5 with the Earth departure stage had 180... It was forecasted to have a 180,000 kilogram to low Earth orbit with a 10-meter fairing payload capacity. That was just their baseline. In reality, Ares 5 probably would have done 200 tons, especially with 5 RS-68s. It absolutely would have. SLS, just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. The VAB was also designed to be modular. Dude, what kind of cope is, oh, we can't build that rocket. It doesn't fit in the hangar. What kind of cope is that? That's the... NASA's been huffing that copium. But I want 10 RS-68s. Yeah. The VAB was designed to be extended. Just do it. That's what I'm saying. But once again, Rook opened up the door to maybe do all this stuff. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how she plays out, man. We'll see how she plays out. Anyway, Rocket Lab is live. Let's cap this space news off with some rocket launch coverage, shall we?
Stack of them across dedicated and rideshare missions.
All right.
Standing at 18 meters, or about 59 feet tall, and just over a meter in diameter, Electron is one of the smallest active rockets flying today, but it packs a pretty powerful punch.
That's right. When fully fueled with kerosene and liquid oxygen, Electron tips the scales at around 13,000 kilograms.
Oh,
its
wow.
liftoff is powered by 9 Rutherford engines, each one of them 3D printed at our engine factory in Long Beach, California.
Long
Together,
Beach.
all 9 of them at the bottom of our first stage generate over 50,000 pounds of thrust to carry Electron through its first 2.5 minutes of flight. At that point, the rocket's first and second stages separate, and the vacuum variant Rutherford engine on that second stage ignites to continue powering the vehicle. It's practically identical to the first stage version, except for a key difference with its much larger nozzle, better suited to the vacuum conditions of space. It also runs the same battery-powered propulsion system as the sea-level version, using high voltage batteries as an energy source for the electric propellant pumps.
Batteries.
You can see those batteries
Battery
during the
hot swap.
second stage burn. They look like a large silver rectangle on your screen before they're jettisoned during a swap-out maneuver performed during flight.
Rectangles!
The top of the rocket, of course, is its nose cone, the payload fairing. Now, like the rest of the rocket, this section is made from carbon composite
Not on
material
Earth, Pigeon.
to
Not a
make
good
the
idea.
structure super lightweight yet perfectly durable under those acceleration conditions. That fairing splits open shortly after the first stage is separated, which is when the payload is exposed to space for the very first time after liftoff. Now, we won't have a camera view of that jettison moment, but you will most likely be able to see those two fairing halves fall away on live camera. And then to round things out with Electron, transporting the satellite to space today is our platform within that fairing called the Kick Stage. It runs its own 3D printed engine called Curie and can be maneuvered and reoriented using cold gas reaction control thrusters. It's trusted to deploy the satellite to the highly precise orbital parameters required on these dedicated and rideshare launches like today's.
And when we say precise, we mean it. The Kick Stage has a deployment accuracy within mere meters of its target, which is an incredibly complex feat when you're traveling at more than 27,000 kilometers an hour.
Now, for today's mission, there's another piece of Rocket Lab technology that will play a key role in making this mission a success. The satellite onboard Electron will be deployed using a separation system that's called the Advanced Light Band, or ALB, made by our team in Silver Spring, Maryland.
We've actually got one here to show you. This is the mechanism that separates the spacecraft from the launch vehicle once we reach orbit.
Springs.
This one's a bit smaller than the one on today's mission, but the principle is the same.
Guys, if you've ever played Kerbal, there's a decoupler. That's what it looks like.
Using a motorized release system to disengage its clamp-like band and send the satellite on its way.
All in all, from liftoff to
That's what a
final
decoupler
stage
looks like.
separation, it's just under 10 minutes of flight
Pretty cool,
time
huh?
for Electron. But it takes about an hour.
So it you know, hold on. We're 6 minutes out. If it looks like there's valve springs from a motor being used as their decoupling mechanism, oh, there's valve springs. Those are valve springs. Yeah, fun fact. Valve springs. Hey, they work. They're really good. An internal combustion engine has springs that are exactly the same as that. And the more you look at it, the more like, yep, those are valve springs. Probably titanium if I had to guess. Tighter coil? Oh yeah, no, yeah, sure. Don't believe me, that's fine. Peter Beck is a massive gearhead. That's all I'm saying.
Ready to be done with Mars just yet. We've got a plan for how to deliver a Mars telecommunications orbiter for NASA designed to support everything that the agency wants to accomplish
Get out
on
of
the
here.
Red Planet.
Get out of here.
From further science and exploration to eventually human travel to Mars. Here's what it looks like.
Oh, look, Neutron. Yeah, we probably can't listen to this music. It'll probably get destroyed on the YouTube VOD. They are valve springs from the Rivian R1. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, those are great valves. They're hiring a ton right now for neuron active. Oh, Pulse, you said neutron integration. Oh, all right. I missed that one. That's not Matt Damon. Brother. Can you imagine streaming a damn football game from the surface of Mars? That would be nuts, actually. I'd watch a football game on Mars. I'd watch a football game on the moon. That'd be great.
Missions in history. including the Mars InSight lander, Percy the Perseverance rover, and Ingenuity helicopter. We've got more hardware on and orbiting Mars than just about any other company, and we're ready to add more with both Escapade and MTO for NASA.
All right, back down to
course
Earth
we-
now, quite
wait, what?
literally. And we have just 3 minutes left on the clock in the countdown to liftoff for this mission. Now, here's what you can expect once the launch
Matt Damon.
operations team lock Electron down into its countdown auto sequence. At T-minus 2 minutes, Electron will be fully loaded with propellant and will be manually switched to its internal power system with the flight computer taking over operations.
Within a minute of launch, we can expect a call out that Electron's first and second stages are fully pressurized. Electron's Rutherford engines will ignite, and then when they're at full power, the pad's hold-down mechanisms will release the rocket for liftoff right on T0. We're continuing to track no issues with the weather, the
Yes,
range,
Aqualix, I
the
would.
satellite, or the rocket as we get closer to that auto sequence handover. All systems are currently go for an on-time liftoff at 12:53 p.m. local time. So let's switch over the audio now to mission control and listen in to those.
Dude's
final
rocking
minutes
back and
before
forth
launch.
as he explains
Go
things.
Electron.
That's what I do. I do that. I do that when I'm explaining stuff. Oh, man, that's too real.
The vehicle is fully on the top part.
Okay. Inside of
This
2
is green
minutes.
enable flight.
Oh, it's windy down there. You guys, look at the sock. Yeah, we got, what is that, a 6-knot crosswind? Okay. I think that beep is Starbase Live.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation.
So that's a tailwind for the way the rocket is going, guys. The rocket's going that way. Tailwinds are okay with rockets. That's fine. Not so much airplanes. You don't want that with a plane. Rockets, okay.
Anti-geysering is disabled.
Okay. Inside of 1 minute. So I bet you because it's windy, this thing is going to go a little wiggly on the way up. That's normal. That happens. 45
High flow
seconds.
engine purge enabled.
It really is fluffy, isn't it? T-minus 30 seconds. 25. T-minus 20.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
I just said that. Ten.
10, 9,
Sound suppression water
8,
system is on.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Ignition.
1.
What was that?
Ignition. And liftoff.
Dude, something came flying up out of the flame trench there. Oh, I hope that wasn't important, because it's wrecked. Whoa. Dude, it was the manhole cover all over again. What was that? I don't think it hit the rocket or anything, but damn, dude.
Is nominal.
Yo. It looked like a trash can lid. Dude, my heart stopped for a second. I thought that was a piece of the rocket coming off. I'm like, no.
We're on our way to space. There on your screen is Electron rapidly
Dude,
climbing
that scared
through
the
Earth's
crap out of me
atmosphere
for a
as it
second.
ascends
Holy
over
crap.
Launch Complex 1 with a fantastic daytime view from our cameras. Those 9 Rutherford engines at the bottom of the stage are about to power Electron through max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. Let's listen in now.
Approaching max Q.
Everything looks good. The rocket looks fine. It looks okay. I'm not seeing anything weird. But then again, I see what you see, guys, but...
Cleared max Q.
Maximum
And
dynamic
there goes
pressure.
the call for max Q. Electron is performing nominally during this first stage burn. We're now hitting speeds of more than 22,000 kilometers an hour at more than 20 kilometers above Earth. Now, our next
See it kind of
milestone
wiggling
coming up will
around?
be
That's the
those
wind.
staging events
Electron's a
we
very
talked
light
about
rocket
earlier.
because it's made out of
The
carbon
first one
fiber,
is
so it
called
blows around in the
MECO, or
wind.
main engine cutoff,
See it kind of
when
moving
those
around?
Rutherford engines at the bottom of the rocket power down completely.
Once that happens, the first and the second stages separate within a few seconds of MECO. Then, after that separation, the Rutherford engine on the second stage will ignite. So that's MECO, stage separation, and then second stage engine startup coming up very shortly at around T plus 2 minutes 40 seconds.
Stage 1 propulsion holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds.
I can't tell if it's the camera oscillation that's screwing this thing up, or if I'm seeing something weird happening there. Looks all right. Lava, that's my question, dude. That's
15 seconds to staging. Entered burnout detect mode.
where is this mission going? Did that launch east?
MECO confirmed. Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
Okay, good upper stage ignition. Yeah, where's
Beautiful work by Electron there. We are clear through MECO and stage separation, and there on your screen is the glow.
Okay,
of
yeah,
the
no,
second stage
yeah, it
Rutherford
went east.
engine
All right, we're
as
good,
it
we're good.
Continues the mission on to its 470
Beautiful shot of
kilometer
the
orbital
the
target.
northern island
We're
of
now
New Zealand
at T
there.
plus 3 minutes into flight, traveling at speeds
They usually
of
go
more
this
than
way.
80,000 kilometers an hour.
They usually go down that
Up
way.
next
They
is fairing
launched
jettison.
east.
That's when Electron's nose cone separates and falls away. Keep
It
an eye on
does,
the screen.
Hawkwatch, yeah.
We should hopefully see those two fairing halves fall past our engine camera.
Yeah, see these two shiny things right there? Those are batteries. They're powering the electric motors on the second stage. And fairings too. Fairings aren't powering the motors. The fairings separated.
There they go, and that was the call out we were expecting.
Yeah,
Fairing
Lava, the camera's
separation
upside down. I'm like, is
confirmed
it
by mission control. Now we're counting down to hear nominal call outs from the team, and the mission continues. All is on track for our next milestone, which will be the battery hot swap on the second stage to continue powering that Rutherford engine. That maneuver is expected to take place at around T plus 6 minutes 40 seconds into flight. So we've got a bit of time left for those current battery packs to continue doing their thing.
It does have a center engine, Aqualex. Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean about the camera being a little fuzzy. I didn't see a center engine firing there, but it could have just been the camera. But yeah, something definitely went a little funky on the pad during ignition. The rocket seems to be okay though. Like I'm looking at the numbers. Those are the actual numbers. That's not telemetry. That's telemetry driven. That's not just
Stage 2 propulsion holding nominal.
animation. Those numbers are right.
The next major milestone we're expecting to see will be battery hot swap. Since Electron's second stage flight time lasts longer than the capacity of the first set of batteries, the rocket's flight computer will make the automatic switch to a fresh new set when it's time. Once the hot swap has happened, Electron will jettison the old dead battery packs that it no longer needs. You'll be able to see those disconnect in real time. They're the shiny silver packs on your screen there. The jettison happens quickly, so if you blink and you miss it, we should get a call up.
That's
from
happened
Mission
before,
Control
Greg.
At the same time to confirm that action took place.
There, a hot spot does happen on the nozzle there. We've seen that before. Now, people wonder about the batteries when they jettison. They burn up, guys. They don't come back down. They burn. The thing's going way too fast to not need a heat shield at this point. You need a heat shield when you even if you hit
nominal 200 seconds remaining.
even hitting the atmosphere at 13,000 kilometers an hour, you still need a heat shield. So those batteries that don't have that, they're going to burn up. Why do they jettison batteries? The batteries are powering Electron's fuel pump. Electron uses electronic fuel injection. It uses an electric fuel pump. The Rutherford engines, electric motors, turn the impellers, not a gas generator like typical of other rocket engines.
Throttling down.
Okay. Notice when they throttle down, the hot spot got less hot. It saves mass. Yeah, batteries are heavy, dudes. It's not like KSP where batteries don't weigh anything. Batteries have a lot of mass in real life. There they go.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Bye-bye.
Hot swap successful.
Bye-bye.
And there they go. Battery hot swap is successful and Electron's second stage engine is running on a fresh set of batteries. This new battery system will power the second stage all the way through to the end of its flight time, which
What happened
will
to then? You
conclude
missed
with
it.
the shutdown
What? Just
of its
now?
engine and separation of the kick stage with the mission's payload. Now, still a couple more minutes of engine burn time to go. Otherwise, all looks nominal for Rutherford and the second stage. We're moving now at more than almost 18,000 kilometers an hour and around 193 kilometers above Earth.
FTS are saved.
Noticing a very, very,
plus
very
7
slight
minutes and
correction.
40 seconds
The thing
into
is doing
flight.
this.
Everything is proceeding nominally for
It's
this
very
mission.
slight, probably
Operators
fine,
in
probably
mission
nothing.
control
It's
continue
just
to monitor the vehicle
it looks
systems
like it's
closely as we approach second stage cutoff and kick stage.
It looks like it's encountering a little bit of a pitch and yaw rate here. There's little pitch and yaw rates that the guidance system is making corrections for. So if you look at the horizon, right, you look at Earth, right, Earth seems to be moving around a little bit. That's because the stage is kind of doing this. It's kind of doing that when it's flying. That's normal. That happens. I'm like really looking for everything here because yeah, that thing that happened at liftoff. Yeah. Trying to see if something broke.
Right, we're coming up on the final actions for Electron's second stage now with Seco just a few seconds
I think
away
so, Pooh,
before
yes.
we separate the kick stage with this mission satellite. What we're expecting to happen next is that we'll see the engine's
Batteries are
red-hot
not
nozzle
reusable
start
on
to
this
cool
rocket, no.
with engine shutdown, and that will be our visual confirmation that Seco took place with no issues. Alongside the audio call-out we can expect from mission
No,
control
solar wind is
at
not
the
enough to
same
perturb
time.
it this
Now
way.
let's
It's most
listen in for
likely the
that call-out
propellant's
signaling.
draining.
We've cleared Seco and achieved
Propellant
kick
drain
stage
does
separation.
fiddle with the mass around a little bit. That happens. I mean, it just depends on how conservative your GNC is to make the corrections. Like how fast you want to make the corrections. You don't want to overcorrect.
Seeker confirmed.
There we go.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
2785 at 190. That's good.
Nice. That was a perfect
Nice.
Seco and
Freaking
kick stage
nice,
separation
mate.
for this mission. Confirmed across the nets and from what you just saw on the screen moments
Yeah,
ago
that was good.
with Rutherford's engine nozzle cooling down quickly. The kick stage has taken over the rest of the mission now to deliver its satellite to its 470-kilometer target
Nice.
orbit. It first has to
Freaking
complete
nice,
its journey
mate.
around the other side of the Earth.
All right,
before
cool. I want to see that. I want to see that thing. What happened at ignition? I'll show you what I saw. Watch right here.
5,
Right in that
3,
that area.
2, 1. Ignition.
What was that? There was clearly something in that flame trench that should not have been there. Enhance. Freaking drone shot, though. See. Bro, I saw that thing going towards the rocket, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, my heart skipped a beat. Because it's like flying right at it. I'm like, if that hits it, that's it. It looks like it didn't. It looks like it came down. That scared the piss out of me. An engine cover? No, it's much too big. These Rutherford engines are tiny, dude. They're about this big. It looks concave and potentially about the same diameter as the rocket. Yeah, dude, something came off the bottom of that thing. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, why is that not good? Like, if you're not familiar with rocket launches, you're going to look at that and be like, okay, whatever, it didn't hit the rocket. Well, dude, like, okay, clearly that thing's not supposed to be there. And you got to be careful during ignition. Ignition's a violent event. That is one of the most violent parts of the entire rocket launch. The reason why is because sound reverberates off the ground and can damage the vehicle. And it's not just sound, debris, because the rocket engines will kick up a lot of dust, right? Debris hitting the side of the vehicle on the way up. It happens, right? You want to minimize that as much as possible. Rockets have launched in the past, right? Like I'm thinking of the Astro launch where it's blown up and the thing went sideways off the pad, right? Space Y. It's part of an Oreo. Man, what kind of Oreos do they have down there? That thing is huge. This is called foreign object damage, right? Or FOD for short. It's you do not want something hitting the rocket, basically. That's the really short answer. What are they launching to and where? So Insight at Speed is a friend indeed is the name of this mission. This mission is launching a commercial low Earth orbit observation satellite for a company called Black Sky. It's part of Black Sky's Earth observation constellation. It's basically a commercial spy satellite, except it's not used for spying. It's used to just take pictures of the ground. So they staged at 27085 at 190. So 2785 and 190. That's just low Earth orbit. And they launched with an azimuth probably of about 90. Zillow spy. Yeah. Soyuz observation, but on a smaller scale. Yeah, you don't need pieces flying around. And oh, dude, I saw it flipping towards the rocket, and I was like, oh no. Here, let's see.
20 seconds and
Can we
counting.
see it in this picture? No, it's not there. A rocket's designed to survive bird strikes. Yes, O10. Yes, they are. That has happened. It happened with the shuttle sometimes. They are designed to withstand a bird strike, but for the most part, where the rocket goes, no birds are going after the first like 10 to 15 seconds. So you got that going for you, which is nice. You really don't want to get hit by a bird you really don't want a bird hitting one of these things. But it's only for a second because, like, unlike a plane that will spend a little bit of time trying to land on a runway or taking off and climbing out from an airport, right? Like, the rocket just goes up and it keeps going up and it gets higher than any airplane in probably about, I don't know, a minute.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. That's stressful. Whatever that lid did, it didn't hit the rocket. Thank God. Dude. Oh, that would have sucked. Yeah, Electron really gets off the pad quick. All right. So they have ended their coverage. That is the Rocket Lab Insight at Speed is a friend indeed. Good stuff. What? Will that be on the Flame Trench tomorrow? Yeah, probably not. It's not really a lot of, you know.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Here. Hey, Olmam, what's up? 13-month resub.
Discovery, go
If
at
it hit
throttle
it,
up.
then yeah, it looks like it didn't hit it. It looks like it got caught up on the pad, Mutter. But dude, that is like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like if I was there, that would be a pucker moment. I'd be like, who left that there? Please do not do that again, ever. Like ever. Laser Drifter, hey man, 57-month resub. No, I just missed the launch because I was building my Django Fett Lego helmet on my birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, come on. There's been plenty of Electron launches. There's only one Django Fett Lego helmet that you build on your birthday, dude. Hey, and also you got a rocket launch on your birthday. That's pretty good. Sad, what's up? Good news, though. Mars sample return seems to be back on the authorization bill with a cap of $8 billion. Is it actually Mars sample return, or is it not? If they canceled the program and remade it, then I'm cool with it. The current, because once again, you know, it warrants context. Yeah, how do you miss that during the FOD walk? I don't know, Phoenix. Yeah, that's telling. Yeah, the Mars sample return program that NASA has right now is not Mars sample return. It's planning for Mars sample return. But they called it Mars sample return so it wouldn't get canceled. It's a planning committee for how to do it. And it's costing billions of dollars. Or millions, I should say. Watch SpaceX bid Starship for NSR. that'd be useful. Do we know what parking orbit the rocket got to? Because circular 190 is 28 kilometers a second, not 27 kilometers a second. No, not kilometers a second, Lava Eagle. KPH is what you're saying? Hey, Shark Tales. Thank you for 10 bits. They probably put it slightly suborbital to dispose of the second stage, and the Curie's probably handling the rest. It was 2785 at 190. What's the after hours plans? Kairos was a crazy corkscrew. Yeah, that's because it went out of its track and they blew it up because it went way off course. There are also tanks there to the left. Yep. Electron always stages suborbital. Correct. Yes. Yes. All right, dudes. Bum bum ba bum. I'm sorry, that's funny. Hey, you can't park there. Whoops. Well then, that's where did he bin it? What part of the track is he on? That's on the back stretch of the track. That's coming out of the left-right complex, I'm pretty sure. And judging by the skid marks, he got onto the rumble strip. Thank you for doing space news. Of course, Blark. F1 starts this weekend at Albert Park. Oh, I'm sorry, Albert Park. That's how you say it, mate. It's in Melbourne. Yeah. Yeah, that car is yeah, weather guy, you know, that car is broken. Yeah, it's very, very broken. Claro. Yep. Judging by the skid marks, he crapped himself. Nah, he got loose coming through the back part of the track at Albert Park. So over here in Melbourne, Albert Park's right there. So this is where he binned it. This part of the track right here. So you have a very, very fast left-right complex right here. And if you don't get this corner, if you don't get that corner right, you're going to get into the rumble strip here. You get onto the rumble strip and you get into the dirt, you lose traction and you hit the wall right there. And that is very much what happened. Yep. Yep, see? There's the turn. If you can see the pavement, there's the turn to go back out of the park, out of Albert Park right there. That's that. He crashed right here. Yeah, that happens. You can get loose coming through this sector if you don't get it right. This is tough because you got to commit. If you don't, like I said, you don't turn in at the right time here, you're going to bonk the rumble strip right there and your car is going to lose traction. Simultaneously, if you don't turn fast enough, car's going to go outside and you're going to bump the rumble strip out there and then the car is going to go this way. Melbourne? Wasn't the Australian GP in Melbourne? Yeah, Melbourne, mate. Yeah, nice place. I don't know. I've never been there. How dare they put a rumble strip in the median? Yeah, I know, right? You ain't first, you're last. Speaking of that, if we want to keep up with some space and rocket review with some car and rocket review, they Cletus McFarlane, a YouTuber and content creator, signed a 2-year contract with Richard Childress. You see that? 2-year contract, dollar salary to race 3 races every year for the next 2 years. Oh, my bad. I'm so slow. I just got it. Sorry, Horseshoe. Don't worry about it. Yeah, to race in the O'Reilly series. So that's the feeder series for NASCAR. For Formula One people, the O'Reilly series is Formula 2 for NASCAR. That feeds into the Cup, which is Formula One, the Formula One equivalent for NASCAR. Go fast, turn left, brother. I thought he was ARCA. Dude, this just happened. This is brand new news yesterday. He's racing 3 races with Childress next year, which is bananas. He's in ARCA right now. ARCA is Formula 3 for NASCAR. For the people that don't know. So there's ARCA O'Reilly's, and then I was going to call it the Winston Cup because that's what it is. I don't care what they call it now, but it's the Winston Cup. My brain still has not. Yeah. I like the overlap between extreme racing and spaceflight, both pushing engineering limits. Yeah, Blark, a lot of astronauts and a lot of engineers like cars as well. Yeah, me included. I love cars. You guys know that. You guys already know that. Thanks for that. Winston Cup indeed. Yeah, baby. He did what in his cup? Don't worry about it. KSA update. Oh, what do we got? Dude, I actually haven't checked in with them in a little while. I should probably do that. Oh. Oh. Brother. No freaking way. No, that's KSA. That's Kitten Space Agency. Oh, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Mind Drive, Kitten Space Agency is a spiritual successor to Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, it's a spiritual successor, and this is Dean is showing off. I should like this post. Dean is showing off rings around a planet. Dude.
Discovery,
I like cars too. It's too bad that F1 and NASCAR don't race them anymore. Yeah, I know what you mean. It will always be the Winston Cup. Yep. Yep. First thing you're doing with KSA is getting a Kerbal replacement mod. I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's sick though, dude. Seriously, that's freaking impressive, dude. Those rings look amazing. Wow. Didn't KSA build their own game engine? Yeah. Yeah, Dean and company have been working on their own game engine. It's called Brutal. Yeah. So fellas, full disclosure, I haven't actually talked to them in a little bit, but I haven't actually talked to them in a little bit, but I do consult on that project. I've been helping them with something. I can't say what. I am helping them with something. I unfortunately cannot say what it is, and I'm sorry. I really don't do this unless I absolutely have to. Just think, if you know me from KSP, think about what I spent a lot of time figuring out. And it'll be pretty clear what I'm helping with. I sent you an image on Discord of what the object could have been. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. So there is little covers down there. I see it, Hunter. Thank you. Blowing stuff up. Hey, I didn't do that much. Struts? Nobody's said it. Interestingly enough. Never finishing projects. Yeah, never finishing a project. It's almost like, I have the commitment to finish a project, but people have the attention span of a walnut. And I have to keep viewer count up to make money, so I can't finish these projects because no one wants to get into the nitty-gritty. That's weird, Mason. Imagine that. Mobile launch structures, performance, nope. Capsules control and fly, nope. Kraken tech, nope. Nobody said anything. Nobody said it. Interesting. I thought you couldn't finish projects due to accountants. That one's true, yes. EJ's cleverest part is making it into the game. Hey, the Kraken Tech assist pieces are... The Kraken Tech assist pieces were a good idea, okay? Where can we find KSA footage of the ring? So, Rockets 2 Guns on X, Horsu. Rockets 2, like the number 2. 2 Guns. That's my buddy Dean. Dean Hall was a modder for KSP back in the day. He's been around the Kerbal community for a long time. Hierarchy. Getting warmer. Nobody said it. Interesting. Interesting. No, I'm not telling you guys what it is now. That's very interesting. I thought that was enough information. No, I'm not telling you now. This is fun. I like doing this. Rockets to guns. Yeah, that's my buddy Dean. Yep. Launch pads, shuttles. No. You're telling us what it is by telling us what it isn't. I'm not saying nothing. It must not have been memorable. Man, is it a missile? Here, I'll link it up, dude. I'll link it up. I got you. Tessellation? No, they got that under control. I know you spent a while trying to catch a booster in KSP. No, Hunter, not that. Jinshine EJ had just finished my homework in engineering graphics. Yep. Yeah, you should be tired, dude. I will say, somebody said it. Somebody finally said it. I'm not going to say what, though. I'm not going to say what or who. Ground collision? Nope, they don't need my help there. Somebody did say it, but I ain't saying who. It's 3:30 in the morning. Oh, geez, Gensh. You got... And, dude, engineering homework is nuts. I'm not even sure that I'm smart enough to dude, I had a guy at NASA give me like an intro to differential equations once, and I get it. Oh, I get how it works. Just, brother, it's like 5 or 6 math equations all rolled into one. It's just like, like, I get it. You got to like solve one part and then take that whole piece and plug that back into another equation and solve that and then take that and plug that back into the original equation. I'm like, what the frick, dude? Who the hell thought of this, man? Is Dean Hall the big DayZ guy too? Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right, Deadeye. Yep. Guys that invented DayZ. Yeah, pretty much. Big spaceflight nutcase. Also likes cars as well. EJ saying ugly words, differential equations. On my proud way to become an aerospace engineer in 6 years. You got a long road, dude, but yeah, stick with it, man. Remember, math is just like speaking another language. The only way you're going to get good at speaking another language is to speak it more. All right? Donde está la biblioteca, amigo? Pow! Will sun-synchronous orbits be possible in KSA? No precession, no N-body lava as far as I can tell. So, no. You want ugly mechanics of deformable bodies? Holy balls. That, dude. Now, back, I had like a visceral reaction to hear that. Math is a universal language. That's right. And you'll only get better at it if you speak it more. The library is that away. Gracias, amigo. What? Why would you ask that question? What? What are you talking about? Man foo. Jesus Christ, dude. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Stop. You know? You had a visceral reaction to that class. There's a reason I'm into IT infrastructure and not civil engineering. You know what the screwed up part is, Nabak? Everything, like mechanically is deformable. Even metal, like that's what, dude. That's what gets me. Like metal bends and flex like rubber with the right loads, which is just. All right. The language of love is also universal, and you do get better at it the more you do it. And shut the hell up, man. No, I understood what you said, iCrew. I just, dude, I don't know, man. I'm here for space flight, brother. I don't like the missiles that go up and come back down. I like the stuff that stays up there, like Soyuz or Buran or Energia. Those things go up and then they come back down and land with people alive inside of them. I want those rockets. We like those rockets, dude. Only bad word. I only know bad words in Spanish. Ay, Dios mío. You don't like the space shuttle? No, that last one is pretty cool. We invented democracy, existentialism, and the ménage à trois. Those are pretty good things. That last one is pretty cool. Me llamo queso. Your name's cheese? All right. Do you remember Laika? Yeah, Laika. Compraste cerveza finalmente. I'm not buying any more beer. Damn it. Maybe later. Aglex, he saw that. He saw my hat, and that was the impetus for asking that question. He saw the hat and went like that. You know what I'm saying? Six-factor formulas are used in nuclear engineering to determine the multiplication of a nuclear chain reaction in a non-infinite medium. Here, let's do so. Yeah. You know what, John? You know what the crazy part is? I'm looking at this to nuclear physics is what the delta V formula is to rocket science. This is the basic stuff, isn't it? Dude, this is the basic stuff. Do you think a reusable S1B would be possible? For like on-orbit capabilities? Yeah, Ari, that'd be great. Has anyone explained to you how partial differential equations are solved? I think it was explained to me that one time, Lava, but no. Maybe that would be fun to do. Maybe that would be fun to do on stream. Watch my brain short circuit with trying to solve this stuff. I could probably figure it out, dude, but I could probably figure out in the same way I probably figure out like everything else on stream with chat really helping. Like, it would be funny. It'd be funny to see it. I'll do it. While drinking beer? I'd do it while drinking beer, sure. We watch that happen every day. Yeah, you guys love seeing smoke come out of my ears. Don't lie. You're going to need a bigger whiteboard. Start Super Troopers. Please, no. So on EJKRPC stream then. I was thinking about that, Rockets. We should do that. We should do it. You'd need a fresher nuke than Mew for 6-factor, yeah. You guys are asking what we're going to do for after. I'm sorry. I just cleared out all my tabs and that popped up on the screen. I'm sorry. I don't know, dudes. I said I'd work on the cars if you want to do that, but we could play Factorio if you want to do that. I mean, it's... What did I miss? I was putting together a gaming desk. It took forever. You missed it? I said, now to be fair, I said we would play Factorio tomorrow. Like the car in the garage, yes. Mm-hmm. Not my winter car, but my winter car. I have to finish working on stuff out there, but I mean, we could do that tomorrow morning if we want. Dealer's choice, do you feel up for wrenching? Dude, Factorio got me hard. This is trouble. Dude, Kinkin, in my defense, I said, do not play that game if you do not have a lot of time. And dude, people think I say that because it's funny. No. Factorio will eat your mind. It's quite actually like worse than social media. But like social media will consume you, right? Factorio will do that. It'll do that and it's really good at it. But at least with Factorio, you know, your mind you become a human abacus, which is great. Now, I already played Winter Car today, dudes. That's the thing. Factorio has taken 6,485 hours of your life. Oh, God. You dreamt in conveyor belts. Dude, that happens. You close your eyes and you see inserters moving around. It's awful. Dreams after Factorio are crazy. Yeah, right, Bio? Oh, God. Now you guys are making me want to play. Damn you. Why are you doing this to me? You ever played Mars First Logistics? Negative. Put a poll up. I do better work on the car in the morning than I do at night. That's the thing. Rarest, I know I said I would work on the car tonight. Can we maybe do that tomorrow? Do that tomorrow? I'll wake up early tomorrow morning. Sounds like you've already decided. Sounds like you need to shut up. All right? Sounds like you need to be quiet. You guys did this. This is your fault. You were like, oh, did you play Factorio, EJ? Oh, my God, I want you to play Factorio. Oh, my God, EJ, I want your body. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you can't have any of that. Maybe Factorio. Stop looking at me, Swan. All right, Factorio it is. You convinced me. Would you believe that? Play something new. Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't built a spaceship in Factorio, and that's something new. Is that what you... Sounds like you're not following through. Oh! Why you got to do that to me, man? All right. Combat Modern Operations at 619. Next generation cross-domain modern wargaming enables you to simulate every military engagement post-World War II to the present day. Oh, God. Don't show me that. How's that Switch 2? Last time I checked, Brimo was still playing it. All right, one man. Good night. All right. Okay, commit time. Factorio, now I will be here in the morning. Here's what we're doing. I'm waking up at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. You heard it. I'll set plenty of alarms. Or no, I will be live at 9 a.m. Okay? And we will car stream tomorrow. I will be here. All right? No more ambiguous stuff. I said we wouldn't do that, and we're not doing that. I will be here at 9, and we will work on that stupid car. We will play Factorio now. I'm holding you accountable. ARJ, thank you. I know I'm getting annoyed with it, but please do not stop doing that. Okay? Got it. Live at 7. I'm trying to be a mature, responsible adult here, okay? But Factorio. All right, stand by for loss of signal. I'll jog the VOD. We're playing Factorio. I'll be here in the morning for the car. We can only play... I can only play for about 2 hours. All right, cool. Let's get to it then. All right. I'll be back in a second. Quick loss of signal, then we're back to Factorio. Okay, it's just YouTube is off for a second. Let me change up the damn title. You know, son of a... What was the last part? We were at part 17. We'll name this one, okay, we're really going to build the spaceship